Morning, everybody. Morning, and welcome once again to Perkins Online. Well, the big news this morning is the resignation of the mayor, Mr. Peart, the Minister of Local Government, is preening. He seems to be very happy over this. One got the impression, and so too is Mr. Douglas, his junior minister. One got the impression that ever since the spate of scandals that have hit the government, one of them is the scandals White House. And, of course, the bigger one, Trafigura. One gets the impression that there's been a search for a scandal within the parish councils, which are run by the Jamaica Labour Party councillors, most of them. One gets the impression that the minister feels that he has something here now. As to whether it will drive Trafigura off the screen is another matter. But in all the discussion that I've been hearing about this matter, one thing that remains unclear to me is whether the contract between, that Mr. Crooks's trucking company was a contract between the hotel company and the trucking company, or was it a contract between Mr. Crooks's company and but a contract between Mr. Crooks's company and contractors or builders, a building company that had been contracted by the owners of the Fiesta Hotel project. Now this would make a bit of a difference. Is it a direct relationship between Mr. Crooks's company and the Fiesta Hotel, or a relationship between Mr. Crooks's company and some other company that had been contracted by Fiesta to build the hotel? That remains unclear. But I think that, clarity on that issue might make a considerable difference to the argument. Because, for one thing, there is a relationship between Fiesta and the parish council. There are matters to do with the building that are dealt with by the parish council, and there was the question of the granting of a concession on the building fee. And my understanding is that there was a unanimous vote on the matter in the parish council. In other words, both Labour Party and PNP members of the council voted in favour of it. So I don't know. I don't know why so much fuss is being made about that particular issue. Anyway, there's a search on for a scandal. And they're looking at the parish councils. But we need to know. We need to know more about this issue. And on the face of it, it doesn't look all that good that that Mr. Crooks, had a relationship. Well, that his company was working there while he was making decisions as mayor regarding matters to do with the hotel. But there may not be too much in it. I don't know. It's very interesting that one has been hearing about conflict of interest coming out of the mouth of the minister and Mr. Douglas and others like this. Did we hear from those persons on that side of the political divide? Did we hear about conflict of interest in relation to the Sandals Hotel project, beginning with Mrs. Asamba's brother, the Minister of Tourism's brother, having a contract to furnish the hotel, which contract, as far as I'm aware, was never put to tender. Did we hear about conflict of interest when Mr. Vin Lawrence, the then chairman of UDC, was assigning lucrative contracts to companies in which he had an interest? Which is not to say that that because it was done there, it would be right being done by Mr. Crooks's company. But I don't know that what happened with Mr. Crooks's company was the equivalent of what went on there. But it's good to see that that Mr. Crooks has resigned his mayoral position. The question has been raised, and again by the minister, whether he should not have resigned as a councillor. I find some of these things very amusing. Did we hear anything coming out of the mouth of the minister regarding such a principle? When Mr. Campbell resigned following the Trafigura debacle, resigned as minister, but retained his seat in the Senate? I find this all very funny. But it's good. Mr. Golding apparently insisted on the resignation, so as not to, becloud the issues, and that's a very good thing. Mr. Crooks's resignation, we are told, is no admission of guilt, but he has resigned because of the doubt about the morality, the integrity of his own action. So so be it. We shall doubtless be hearing a lot more about this. And what about the other parish councils where some widespread allegations were made about breaches of procurement rules? What's been happening about that? From the noise made by the minister at the time, one might have thought that some mayors and other parish councillors would by now be in prison. But I don't know. But the search is on, for the search is on for traffic euro antidote. Yes, I like that. Well, there have been rumors going around about the Prime Minister has been talking about the election, you see, and she has made it clear that that she has until October to name an election date. I think, Prime Minister, you have a little more time than that, As I have said over and over on this program, the 5 years which the government is allowed, between elections, does not begin. Well, it isn't 5 years between elections. It is 5 years in the life of the Parliament. So the count begins on the first day that Parliament met following the elections. So I think you have a bit more time than you have indicated. The question is whether you're going to go all the way down there. I am not sure that you would not have stood a better chance of the fifth term, or getting your own mandate, as you call it, had you gone to an election within a month of becoming Prime Minister. I suspect that the shine has rather sort of gone off your ball, and maybe the longer you stay, the worse it will become. I don't know. Anyway, we take a break. We come back shortly. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here. Crime is never out of the picture. It continues to evoke anxiety among a lot of our people. The Observer is telling us this morning in a headline on page 3 that Cabinet postpones crime talks. Security Minister attending cricket meeting in Trinidad and Tobago. One might have thought with the huge significance of crime and all the anxiety that, the security minister might have found somebody to represent him in Trinidad and Tobago and be here to deal with the pressing problem of crime. I see that Ken Chaplin, in his article this morning, I haven't had an opportunity of reading it yet, but according to the headline, he's taking up the issue of the declaration of a state of emergency. Interesting. Very good. Because I should not be at all surprised if that is where this is all going. All this talk about people compiling arms and ammunition to make the forthcoming election a bloody one. And what is being suggested is, of course, that, or, hinted, that it is forces allied to the opposition, hunger for power, that are engaging in all of this. No evidence seems to be available. Doesn't prevent people talking, though. Anyway, let's get to our telephones, huh? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good. Good. I did get the number to that kid's mother.
You what?
I'm going to be talking.
Look, I'm having a problem. Would you hold on? Would you speak up a bit for me, and more directly into the phone?
Okay, I'm speaking very loud. I don't know why the connection is so
There's
low.
something. Are you calling from abroad or something?
Yes, I'm calling from the U.S., sir. Yes.
You're calling from here?
From the U.S. The U.S.
From the U.S. Yes, we seem to be having a problem with that line. I don't know what's wrong with it.
All right, I will hang up and try back.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
Yes, I did get a hold of that kid's mother, the kid with the problem with the eye. So I'm dealing with her directly.
I beg your pardon? You got the number?
Child with the eye problem.
Yes.
I did get the number yesterday with the lady calling. I did got the number, and I'll be dealing with the mother.
Oh, I see. Well, I thought that you would have been dealing through CVM, but as you choose.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, I would like to touch two little topics with you. A topic with you, actually.
Yes.
1999, my niece was killed by a police officer.
What?
And she passed away.
Uh-huh.
And the place that she was working for, from 1999 until year 2007, they cannot turn in their part of the debt grant money.
Of the what?
To the NIS. The debt grant money, there's a debt grant that the boss you work for turn in a portion and the government match that.
Uh-huh.
From that day until now, my sister cannot collect that money. Every time she goes to the NIS office is telling her that the boss did not turn his portions in as yet. Now, Mr.
That the boss did not do what?
Corruption. The boss did not turn in their portions of the money.
The money, I see. But look here.
I guess the debt grant money, part of it has to be turned in by her boss, her employer.
Yes.
And the government will match it in whatever percentage.
Yes, sir, but hold on.
1999.
Hold on a minute. That, as I understand it, is a matter between the government and the boss, whoever he was. Right?
Yes.
She made her contribution.
Well, I guess what they told my sister, because that's my sister's daughter, every time she goes to the NIS office, they said they're waiting on the amount that's supposed to be paid by her employer.
Uh-huh.
And that's from 99.
Yes,
Mr. Perkins, what a corruption. Is it that the government allowed the employer from 1999 till 2007 today, a new year, what drastic decision is the government making to make sure that the employer turn in theirs? I mean, that's quite a while, sir. Is it 7 years now?
You know what, sir? I think that somebody needs to test this in the courts.
I think somebody getting tipped off.
No, hold on.
Someone getting a bribe.
You're not listening to me.
Because every time my sister goes to the NIS office, the lady she's dealing with say to her...
Yes, sir, but you keep repeating that. You have said that already. What I'm saying to you, sir, is somebody is that somebody needs to test this matter in the courts. The government has...
Mr. Perkins, the little money that it is, it don't worth it to get a lawyer.
All right,
you know,
well,
it's not a lot of money.
In that event, sir, just...
Can you get an attorney to represent you, sir? It's not going to work it. But, you know, I just want to bring it to your attention and to the people in Jamaica who listen to your program that the corruption between the employer and the government system is really bad.
I see. All right, sir. Thank you very much. But let me say that this is not the first time that one has heard about some, you know, statutory contribution made by a person. And there are even cases in which it is, my understanding is that it has been said that although the amount was deducted by the employer, it was not turned over to the government. And therefore, the government is claiming that it has no liability to the employee. Well, that sounds to me like a load of nonsense, because if the government puts into effect legislation requiring the employer to deduct money from the employee's salary and to make a contribution and pay it all over to the appropriate government agency, that is a matter now between the employer and the government. And if the employer is deducting the money from the person's salary and not turning it over, that is not something that the employee should have any responsibility for. Right? It is the government that must come down on the employer and ensure that the money that it has authorized the employer to deduct is paid over to the appropriate agency. But one of the things that happens in Jamaica, of course, is that people, for the reason that gentleman gave, you know, they can't afford to pay an attorney to test this matter in the courts. So it continues. Maybe somebody ought to bring it to the attention of the public defender. Anyway, hello? We take a break. We come back shortly. Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
I am calling to participate in the discussion in as far as this resignation.
What discussion?
Hello?
What discussion?
The matter of the resignation of the mayor in Lucy.
Yes.
Mr. Crooks.
Yes.
I am simply surprised that Mr. Crooks had resigned.
You are?
Yes.
Why?
Why? I'm going to tell you exactly why. In the council, the mayor, at the council you have what you call a building committee.
Uh-huh. You are from Lucy?
No.
Oh.
I am in St. Catherine.
You're in St. Catherine?
But I happen to know how these things operate.
I see. You're parish councillor?
No, I'm not.
Uh-huh.
You have a building committee. Building committee considers whatever appertains to building. Whether it be plans to be passed, any consideration as far as the building is concerned.
Uh-huh.
The mayor doesn't have anything whatever to do, whether it be waiving of fees or anything. It has to go through the building committee.
Oh.
I think the entire council formulates the building committee. The mayor doesn't necessarily has to be the chairman of the building committee.
Uh-huh. But he's a member of it.
He's a member of it. Now, whatever they do, because he's mayor of council, when the documentation is done up, it goes to him. All he has to sign is only like a rubber stamp to anything that they do when they pass it.
Is that so?
Now, having done so, bearing in mind, there's another angle to this thing. the mayor outside of council can approve certain things. But on condition that it has to be ratified as quickly as possible by the general council meeting or the building committee. Again, it goes back to the building committee. Good, sir. I am saying, Fiesta Construction, that hotel, is not a government property. So why are they saying that he has to get approval from them? And why are they saying that he did something contrary to be taking a contract with this company to be involved in doing this company's business? If it was a government contract now, I understand that he would have to seek and apply for and obtain approval to get a contract from the government. You follow me, sir?
But yes, and is it being argued that that had the mayor not had a trucking arrangement related to the construction of that hotel, that decisions that the council made would not have been so made? That the council would have acted differently? I don't know.
Well,
because
not necessarily.
It isn't the mayor that made these decisions.
You have two sets of councillors. You must have PNP councillors there.
Yes, and PNP councillors voted with...
So are you saying that PNP councillors voted along with his councillors to say because he's the mayor?
Yes.
No, I don't believe that.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that is there anything that the council did that would have been differently done had the mayor not had this trucking contract? And what I would like to discuss, to hear discussed, is, or to get some information about, is whether the mayor's trucking contract or the mayor's trucking company's contract was with the hotel chain. Or was it with a contractor?
Possibly, it could have been.
That had the contract for building the hotel.
That's right.
A building company, you know.
All that is possible.
Yes. Well, in which event...
Further, then he would not have to apply for any waiver or anything for permission.
Well, I don't know that there was any need for him to apply for any waiver or anything.
No.
You know.
But it is in the rights of anybody to apply for waiver in their interest to save money.
Yes.
I have seen in one council, I read it in the papers, where a councillor asked, and a past mayor asked the council that he was at to waive all the fees in as far as it concerns to build a sporting development area within its division.
Yes.
All the fees. And I looked at it as being mad. Now, here it is. This mayor, as far as I'm concerned, he did nothing wrong. I don't know why he resigned.
Well, I don't know. I mean, in the light of the dispute and the suggestion of impropriety.
But this is the thing, and I think he should have waited until they sort it out, with due respect, Mutty. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. When I look at many things that cost this country $80 million, and that minister don't resign, and no probe go on, and no investigation go on, why this mayor have to resign?
Well, it's quite interesting, isn't it? How different is the attitude of the Minister of Local Government, Mr.
Well,
Peart.
Mr. Peart, he jumped at him right away.
Well, but Mr. Peart has been jumping for quite some time.
Trying to find dirt elsewhere to turn up some dirt somewhere.
Well, yes, he's trying to find an antidote, or it seems, to find an antidote for Traffic Bureau.
That's right. That's right. Because he's in St. Catherine trying to dig up dirt. He's all over the place trying to dig up dirt.
Yes.
Spending unnecessary money paying auditors before he spends some money to fix the roads.
Audits need to be done.
The roads need fixing.
No, there's a need for audits to be done. But I don't know. I don't know whether...
My God. Mr. Mutty, have a good day, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning, sir.
Hello?
Yes, morning.
Hello?
Hello?
Mr. P?
Yes, sir, morning.
Good morning, sir. Get you for a long time. I'm going. Alcan to turn over to be with Alco, sir.
I beg your pardon?
I have an issue with Alcan Jamaica Company till it's transferred to with Alco.
Yes. You were transferred?
No, sir. Some arrangement with some land where they resettled me, sir.
Yes.
The 20th of August coming. It will be 5 years since they resettled me.
Yes.
That is over by Schwallenberg. You hearing me, sir?
Yes.
Oh, give me my house and a lot of
What
land.
are you using, a cell phone?
Yes. Oh, sir.
Well, you're breaking up, you see.
Oh, I'm going to shift here. You hearing me clearly now, sir?
I'm hearing you better now, yes.
Okay, sir. It's an issue with Alco, sir.
Alco?
With Alco. Youth and work. Youth and work, sir. Which they took my land. And they build back at my house and give to me. The 28th of August coming is 5 years. And I cannot get no money for my land and they mine it out already, sir.
You can't get any money for the land?
No.
Oh?
It went through the court. For I have a big uncle who decided to take away his brother's 2 sons one. So he took them to court and the court share it equal, sir. And it's over a year and 6 months now. The judge unknown the decision. And until now the lawyer for Alcan have me spinning around, sir, spinning him around.
Well, take the matter back to the courts.
Okay. I need a legal aid lawyer, sir. That I'll speak to you before I do that. I need to go at it tomorrow. That's why I try to get you today, sir.
Well, but get in touch with the legal aid Jamaica. What is it? The legal aid council, I think it is. Right?
Yeah. That is where, sir?
It's right. It's in Kingston here.
Could you kindly give me the address, sir?
I don't have it offhand.
Okay, sir.
But if you look it up in the telephone book, you'll probably find it and find the address.
Yes. Where they move it to? You see, when you're approaching Manique, sir?
Yes.
And you go under that overhead bridge.
Yes.
Is that scheme on the left-hand side down in the gully there?
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir. Well, we get no dust compensation down there, you know, and they have a road above our head that's just in our house.
Oh, God.
I have to move from there for the whole of my furniture. I have my white clothes, them turn pink.
Oh, yes?
Yes, sir. And we get no compensation. They pay the people on the other side of the road. But they don't compensate we on the left-hand side.
Yes. Well, you know, sir, I'm amazed at the unconcern of the government in matters of the kind, you see? Because it ought to be the business of the government to be protecting the interests of its citizens.
Yeah, is this lady named Mr. Samba control that area?
Yes.
She only drive past.
Well, I don't know. She doesn't seem to control it anymore.
No, but before she resigned, sir, she
used to control it.
Some long fingernail and pip and gone.
What?
Just pass with some long fingernail and wave out and pip and gone.
She wave her long fingernails.
Some long fingernails take corner like we have, Mr. Perkins.
I don't know. I mean, the lady is attractive and charming. Wouldn't you say?
She have been there to do the people's business.
Yes, quite true.
Yes, sir. Not like that she do, sir.
Uh-huh.
We told her that we don't want her back.
Uh-huh.
So
you're one of those that don't want her back?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was a diehard PMP, sir, and right now I'm not voting back for them.
But why?
No, sir, they're not running the country good. Look at crime, Mr. Perkins. You cannot sleep in a bed at night through gunshot.
Uh-huh.
Look what's going on. They're supposed to bring back hanging, sir.
Bring back hanging?
Yes, sir, on Cat 9.
Oh? Why you think so? Why you think that will work?
I'm over 50 years old, and when in Cat 9, that man, you know, sir, in my boy days, him head up a poor house, you know. Him don't do no badness again.
Oh, yes?
Yes, sir. I tell that of them Cat 9.
When your boy days.
Yes, sir.
When them Cat 9 a man, he made up in poor house.
Yes, him collect him go poor something Friday deal.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, cause him not able to run up and down again.
I see what you mean, because
yes.
His choice, the choice that he had, was between badness and ending up in the poor house.
Right, sir. Right.
And him try the badness, them catch him and Cat 9 him.
Yes, sir.
And so him give up on the badness.
Yes.
And him end up in poor house.
Yeah, for him can't do no work again. Him walk with a stick and bill, can't dry him foot.
Oh, yes?
Yes, sir. I've saw about 5 of them. One of them cut my uncle and...
Hold on a little bit for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
You are saying that you would like to see, you think that the remedy for the problems that we have in this country, where we give people a choice between badness and the poor house.
Right, sir. Well, I go up within that time.
Uh-huh.
And if I did have a mind to bad, sir, I make sure I learn some trade and look something and do. For when I see man get Cat 9, I never want it.
Now, when was all this? When you were seeing this kind of thing happen?
From 1956 coming up, sir.
1956?
Yes, sir.
Coming up?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Up till early 60s.
Up till the early 60s?
Yeah, they used to Cat 9 them, sir, and we didn't have so much crime.
Uh-huh. And so what you want to say now, you think the way to get rid of the crime is to not any longer give the man a choice between badness and poor house, but to shove him into the poor house with some...
hang them if you find them guilty.
Cripple him with the Cat 9.
And yeah, give him the Cat 9.
Uh-huh. So that he may end up in the poor house.
And when him friends him pass out the road, now him choose whether badness or goodness.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, I see. But goodness is going to end him up in the poor house.
No, if him bad and you Cat 9 him, you know, say him mash up for life.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
He mash up.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that the choice that people have is between badness and the poor house.
Right, sir.
I follow you.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. So which one are you in?
Me a old man, you know. I'm going to be 16, sir.
Uh-huh.
And me work, sleep all, cement bag and learn trade, sir.
Uh-huh.
And work and send me kids them at school. None of them are going to turn up vagabond, sir.
I see.
I'm getting a bad enough problem.
So you didn't have, your choice was not between the poor house and the badness? Eh?
No, me go learn trade, sir.
You go learn trade?
Yes.
So you were a lucky man that you could have learned trade and get out of that.
25 pounds me pay down to go learn mechanical welding.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, and buy one pan of tools with 25 pounds.
Uh-huh.
I'm beg my daddy and mother and give me 12 pounds and I buy a bicycle.
Your daddy had money?
My dad in England.
Oh, yeah?
And me write him and he send 12 pounds for me and buy a bicycle and ride 14 miles a day, go and 14 come.
I see.
And learn the trade.
Uh-huh.
I know me well all right.
You well all right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Still working.
Now you don't think that if we could give people a better choice than that a mere choice between badness and poorhouse. That we'd all be a lot better off and there would be less crime.
Yes, but you can't depend on the government. You have to seek something for yourself, why them are cripple themselves, see like how the backside people then come around like the politician, them and wind up when they want your land. After they get your land, you know, see them again.
I see.
Well, that is what I mean, sir.
Huh?
I see them thinking, you know, the politician and the people them where are go around and buy the land for the company them. And the same breed of dog, you know, sir.
The politician, them and the
people them will go around buy land for the backside company. You tell your yard, but as they get your land done and then dig you out, they owe your money, you know, see them again.
I see.
And when you call them, they tell you next week, till nearly 5 years run up.
Oh my God.
That's what I mean, sir.
Pure crookedness are going in the country.
Pure crookedness in this country. That's why you see some man take up badness too.
Yes.
For them want peace, but they not give justice.
Then you don't think that they want peace, but them now give justice.
Right, sir.
Then you don't think that is where we should begin.
Exactly, sir.
Eh?
Yeah.
Maybe some of them man they will want peace, but won't give justice. Maybe some of them should have get some cat and nine.
Right, sir. No for them hope they will get cat and nine to Mr. Perkins. No for them will get cat and nine to and put people to prison. Because them robbing the poor people money. You have some big man that try to attack some people and them like, I'll get you a nice cat. Me I suffer that too.
You suffer it too?
Yeah. See, sir.
I see what you mean. So maybe that is where the problems of the country are.
Pure crookedness, Mr. Perkins. We have to listen to you every day, you know, so far I get a lot of wisdom from you, you know.
You think so, eh?
Yeah, you used to give me drive from Walker's Wood and drop me off at Linstead, you know.
Oh, yes?
Yes. That time I want green Angler car.
What?
One green Angler car.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, so your man, I mean, no good. We drive with you and you communicate with me along the road from Walker's Wood to Linstead.
Yes.
A long time, you know, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
So I just stop listening to you. Sometimes them I want me listen to you and talk to me, say me have to listen to this man. And everything you talk, me agree with still, you know, but me get some sense out of the way you talk sometimes.
I see what you mean.
Yes, sir. So back to my main issue with boiling up my heart now, sir.
Yes.
I need my money before I dead, because I don't know how long I will live. So how must I go about it, sir? Tell me the correct way. I'm going to go at it tomorrow.
Well, you need to talk to a lawyer.
Okay, sir.
All right?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
I wish you a happy New Year, sir.
And the very same to you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Respect my boss.
All right. All the best. Okay. You know, we need to be able to offer our people better than the choice between badness and the poorhouse. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning to you.
This is the most honorable MP.
No, sir, me not most honorable at all.
Things when?
Eh?
Things when?
No, sir, I am just plain unvarnished Wilmot Perkins.
Honorable MP, Mutty Perkins.
Eh?
You're the most honorable MP.
No bother with me, sir. And
No.
If you call me the most honorable, I will sue you.
I wonder why.
What do you mean, you wonder why? No, don't bother with that with me. I sue you.
You're supposed to know some kind of a matter, Birdie.
I sue you for $80 million.
Why?
What?
Why?
$80 million. All right.
For that honor?
Eh?
For that honor?
Which honor?
Most honorable?
Don't bother with me on that.
Yes. The rubbish, pothole, and drainage. That's how you're concerned about the way. We have stuff around here, bud.
Yes? Rubbish?
Pothole. Manhole.
And drainage. Right.
Because people sometime them come last week Saturday, and the manager for the rubbish come here Sunday and promise he's going to take up the rubbish. And up to now, 2 weeks now, and our garbage drum overflow right now.
Yes.
The street pack are rubbish, and nobody There's a white truck up every Wednesday. And when it's done, we have 2 trucks pass every day. Go Granville, Wakefield. And we have rubbish coming from Granville, coming into our drum here in Matabray. So no know what to do.
Oh boy.
Right now, they rub the gutter water, the funny road right now, such a people.
Gutter water?
The gutter water, you go through.
And mosquito breeding, eh?
Yeah.
Huh? So you better watch yourself on the malaria.
And the leptospirosis.
Leptospirosis?
With the rubbish.
Well, that too, with the rat and them round it.
The every yard get to go, you see bladder bag pack up all over the place.
Yes. And they, you know, they say that people mustn't dump the rubbish in the drains. But what is the alternative that they give them?
I don't have to burn the rubbish.
And you mustn't burn it either?
No.
No, that's illegal.
I don't know what to do with it.
Huh?
I don't know what to do with it.
Boy, I don't know. No, I don't know which public service in this country is working efficiently.
Wow.
You know? People pay their taxes, and what they get in return for it is dismal.
The road a bus tire every day now.
Eh?
Every car that been there now.
A bus tire?
But what they go Falmouth and what they come from Falmouth. And then just like the wall. Them got land.
Yes, well.
Sometimes it be 2 tire. Sometimes 1. And every day something.
Every day what?
Every day something. When people drop on the wall, the buses tire them.
Yes, I know. I know that can mash up the front end too. Boy, it's
don't know where you can do for it.
Boy, I don't know. Martha Bray.
Yeah. Just on the main here.
Yes. And it's a problem of garbage, water, and
not water, dirty water.
Dirty water.
Smell bad water.
It smells bad.
Sometimes you can't get a breath.
Boy, government don't have no respect for you people, you know.
And we have a lot of school, and in school they thought the people get splashed up.
Children get what?
Splashed up in the dirty water, so the people are not examined. They don't try to splash up the water and be zooted there. And wake up everybody.
Oh Lord. Boy.
And NWA not even come look on it. Rubbish man come up here. Rubbish man go up here and talk to me.
Who is your MP?
But the NWA don't come here and look on the gutter, none at all.
Yes.
When the Western mirror, it went happy. And then you turn and look on it. So I don't know what to do again. And it's me, everybody coming in, so. And our AMP.
All right, so we'll see if we can call somebody and bring this to their attention. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Hope something will be done about it soon. We take a break. We come back shortly. Okay, thank you very much. We're back with you. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning to you, sir.
How are you doing, sir?
Not too bad. How are you?
Well, I'm there, relax. This is me, I say, I listen to your program, you know.
You're relaxing?
Yeah, man.
Oh, good.
But, Mr. Perkins, I see something wrong with Mr. Phillips, you know.
With what?
I see something wrong with Mr. Peter Phillips.
Mr. Peter Phillips?
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
Why, you know, I think, you see when he plans something, the plan never works. Right? I don't see, let me tell you something. I do not see the sense of building a camera in a Mobile city area. Because let me tell you something. It's not only Mobile have the most crime rate, you know. Everywhere it's gone bad, you know.
It's growing all over the country.
All right. And you're coming to tell people that to build a camera in Mobile, people will be safe. But let me tell you something. I find that a load of nonsense.
Why?
Because if you try to set a camera in Mobile, right? And if crime is going everywhere. The crime is going. So how you going to? But you know what, Mr. Perkins, I really don't like Peter Phillips plan. Peter Phillips plan is going to get worse and worse and worse every day. If you're more bill cameras, the more worse they're going to get the crime, right? So I don't see this side. And next thing now, Mr. Harry Douglas coming to tell us that it is Labour Party burning up the River City dump. But let me tell you something. Do I see the evidence? But if he don't see that, after asking this question, does he have evidence to prove that JLP burned up the River City dump? Yeah?
Well, I don't know that he claimed to have such evidence.
Why may I tell you?
What he said was that it was people with political connections who were keeping the fire going, no, or preventing it being put out.
Why, yeah, that is the big go telling us that. Why, Mr. And the worst problem, you see this. Yes, let me tell you about Portia. If the traffic go up, well, the problem is where the money go. I don't say the money gone out of the traffic area yet.
Well, they haven't sent it back yet.
I don't hear that the money gone yet.
No.
So maybe she tells us that we must shut with their mouth.
Yes,
boy,
indeed.
Mr.
Maybe that is it.
What a time we live into, man. Boy, may I tell you. So, hold on. But you see, it's not only Portia Simpson Miller only. I heard the statement said, or should I say, don't draw me tongue. Why, as Mr. Lucius Thomas said about the guns for election. I wonder, ask my question to myself. If it's, but how how you going to find out? But if you find out that the gun is in the area, why don't you do something about it to stop scaring the people then? You understand? Right? And I don't see the sense that, but if they have, I have to tell Mr. Lucius Thomas, I'm going to speak Mr. Aston Stewart's words. If you don't have the evidence, shut your damn mouth.
True.
Right? But Mr. Perkins, I don't see the point to telling people that guns are piling up. If they do something about it, well, they should have.
I should have thought so that if the Commissioner of Police had such information, that what he would have done was set some of his policemen to go after it. Right?
Yeah.
And to pursue the matter, to find out where these guns are, who it is that is bringing them in, and seize the guns and lock up the people involved.
Yes. You understand?
And charge them.
And we're losing people every day because of the guns, right? Yes, let me tell you about the government people. It's not because you have money. Because you survive. It's we are the people is the asset, We are the people. We are assets, right?
Yes.
It's not the money or car and big house and more man have car and more man have car.
Yes, quite true.
Right? And one of the problem is that we don't respect ourselves as people.
Absolutely right, sir.
We don't respect ourselves. Right? And you're allowing the government people to take people life, don't like that, making people dead like that, so because of that. What? I do not see the point, I don't see the point. I don't really see the point of legislation, because legislation is so foolishness that I can't listen to them. Because sometimes it don't work where you expect to work, right? And what charisma has to do with the country? And so-called PhDs or whatnot, right? are coming to tell us that, oh, we have the most PhD at the University of the West Indies, so nobody can depend on space. But you see what the problem is? We take it too personal. I say when we take it too personal now, that is where we get upset, you know. Right?
Yes.
I was sick of the foolishness about PhD. PhD is not going to solve the crime problem. You understand what I say? So
well, it hasn't shown an ability to do it up to now.
And you say PhD make people foolish, you know. I see PhD as foolishness, you know. Because if you're more planning your education, if you're doing education, you know, and I say that you have to do education, you know, but if you do so much education and tell people that you have PhD, right, you're going to turn fool. PhD are going to turn you fool, you know. And I thought the last day I never go know you at all. If I never go you at all, I could have turned fool like PhD, right? So. And we need to stop that crap about PhD because PhD doesn't work.
Yes.
Right?
Well, it doesn't necessarily. I mean, if you have intelligence and you have studied, then maybe in the process you would have sharpened your intelligence.
Right.
But if you don't have the brains,
that's unfortunate.
If you don't have a brains, if you don't have the brain, a PhD will not be a substitute.
Precisely. Oh, gosh.
You remember the man that told the Prime Minister about the bridge? The man that told the Prime Minister out at Yalas?
Yeah.
That told the Prime Minister about the bridge?
Yeah, yeah.
If he didn't say so, the bridge was going to wash right?
What? Oh boy.
He never had no PhD, you know. But he had a brain.
Yeah, he had a brain, of course.
Yes, yes.
He had a brain. I'm not blaming him for that, you know.
Yes, yes.
I'm not blaming him for that, you know, because we know ideas know, you know, it's let me tell you something. All we can do is talk, you know, but one thing we don't realize, what we don't government don't realize, them have a pies mouth.
Pies mouth?
Pies mouth. Right? Yeah. Our pies mouth can help. What our pies mouth can do. Why, Mr. Perkins, we need to stop this joking and the government to stop joking and deal with some crime, no man. Because crime may get violent and it's already violent, right? Look at 2007 right now. It's a blood year, right? Are you going to tell us that crime is done and we're going to build a new Jamaica? But but let me tell you something. How are you going to build a new Jamaica if his corruption is still there?
Corruption is a very costly matter, you know, sir.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, and you have to pay.
And a lot of the poverty that people are facing in the country today is the outcome of corruption.
Opportunity, sir. The opportunity we don't have the opportunity, right? I do not see, but let me tell you something. You know, people are trying work hard, you know, to get them money. You understand? And when them try to get money, right? They can get, you know, pay themselves for $2,500, right? But what $2,500 can do? That can't pay water and neither electricity bill. But you have to buy more food to get that. Understand?
But you remember what that earlier caller said, that that people in this country were being given the choice between badness and the poorhouse?
Yes, I heard that. I heard what he said about that. Right? That's why people can't get that's why people fed up. That's why they have to turn gunman.
Yes.
You understand me, I say? To get money. I don't see the sense. I don't really see the sense side, you know. I really do not see the sense side. Right? So, I think we need to think before we say something. Because when we say something is not going to say important. But, you know, let me tell you something. The economical man, the economic is the worst problem. Right?
Yes.
Why, I'm telling you, if economical was good enough, we could have money. We could have the richest country in Jamaica, you know.
We would have had opportunities, sir.
Yeah, we could have
to work and to produce and to earn.
Right?
Right? And to live decent lives.
Right? And this man named Omar run with it, Davis. Come in to tell us that no new taxes. But if we tax a lot of people, that means that you're taking us, and where we going to get back from? We not get nothing. So what do you mean? Alright, so hold on a minute. So how much you going to run with it? For 10 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years now, you're going to run with it? Right? Boy, me I tell you, sir.
Well, I've been running with it for quite a little while, and...
Boy, me I tell you, sir, we don't know what you're going to do. We don't know what you're going to do, sir. Well, Mr. Perkins, we have to get out of here because we have to make more callers to accommodate you.
All right, my friend.
Yes, all right.
You must call again, eh?
Yeah, man, all right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
Okay, hello? Hello?
Yeah, peel it
Hello?
and wrap it in paper.
Hello?
Hello, Willie.
Yes, hi. How are you?
We're going to talk this morning. I told you no politics this year.
No politics?
No. Diabetes.
You're talking about diabetes?
Right.
I see.
I'm a diabetic. Do you realize that the people in what I call the ghettos, I went down to Olympic Way. Well, I go there quite often. My dressmaker lives down there. But Seaward Drive. I happened to have stopped at a house because they had something keeping for me for my little granddaughter. And they heard my voice. They ran out. Oh, Miss T.Y., we don't hear you with Mr. Willie anymore. I said, Mr. Willie getting tired of me. No, sir. And we went on and on. And I said, forget about Mr. Willie and that. So I was talking to them. May I say I have diabetes, you know, Miss T? I said, yes, I have it. And about 5 people came out to the car. And they said, well, all we have diabetes, you know. What you doing about it? Well, it's too expensive.
Hold on a little bit for me. Hold on. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here. Hello?
Yep.
Yes,
Remember I spoke to you about the little inlets you put in the machine. So
yes.
I said to them, have you got your National Health Certificate card that you give to the druggist? No, the Blue Cross. I said, don't talk about Blue Cross. You can't afford Blue Cross.
Yes.
So they say, well, which card are you talking about, Miss T? I says, you're supposed to get from your druggist a national health form to fill out. Then you get a card, and then you get all your medications at a big reduction. You also get a free diabetic machine to test your blood, right? Well, we never did know about that. I said, I know you don't know about that because I don't know what the National Health Service is doing. That I spoke to now on the radio, Leng. I had missed you when I came out of Olympic Gardens. And I called Leng and told him. The National Health Service then calls me, and Mrs. Lee, for a Mr. Barrett. Well, they heard me. And they're going to do some kind of survey and have set up some meeting. As I listen, you know what's wrong with you and the government and all of you what get paid?
What is wrong with who?
All these agencies that we're paying this money to. It's Hail the Beholding Hero with cancer, with diabetes. They show you who is the chairman. They take pictures of everybody who attended on today's Cancer Day. I had cancer 30 years ago. There's nothing I haven't had.
There's nothing you haven't had?
No, I'm fighting the battle as long as I can. So I said to them, I called back to Mrs. Lee. She called me and said, Mr. Barrett heard you, know, and he wants to set up something down there. That was last week. I called her yesterday. Mrs. Lee, are you getting any further? Because I'm going down there today to take blood. I have 3 machines. And they beg me to come back and help them what they're to eat. And I'm not a doctor. I'm just following what I do. And take their blood. She says, no, we're going to, but we have to get a church hall, we have to get a school. I say, you don't have to get nothing like that. You just go to the preacher and tell him, say, don't come in on Tuesday. Would they please come out so that you can have a little meeting, right? Why all leaflets have to throw? This thing has to be advertised. I said, this is stupidness. This is why we can't get anywhere in this country.
Yes.
Diabetics lose arms, they lose legs, they go blind, right?
Because the health services are inadequate.
But they're not working. It's not
Well,
working.
of course they're not working because they're not properly funded.
No, but they're on the radio all the time advertising.
Who?
The National Health Service.
Well, I mean, maybe so, but I mean,
That's a lot of money wasted. If they gave me the duty, I would do it for them.
Yes?
The thing is, they're afraid to go into the ghettos.
Uh-huh.
They are afraid, like the electric company man and the telephone man. They tell you, me now go in Denham Town. Denham Town has no telephones. They have never had any. And why, I ask? Because they're afraid to go in there. The electric man won't go in there and pull the wires off the main wire. They're not going to go down there because the people stone them and they have to run out. And the health services don't go in there either.
Uh-huh.
Now that's the mass population. What do we have these...
But it all comes back to politics, you know, doesn't it?
Don't bother with that.
How do you mean, don't bother with that?
What do you mean, come back to politics?
Well, isn't it the government that is to maintain an adequate health service?
Well, what's wrong with the churches? What's wrong with the churches?
With the church?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm not paying
them.
any taxes to the church.
I'm saying that they're not educated.
You pay taxes to the church?
No, I don't.
Oh.
But
Then what obligation would they, and what means would the church have of maintaining a health service? Don't you pay taxes, and don't all the people pay taxes to the government?
They don't need to have a health service.
Don't all the people pay taxes to the government?
What about the Diabetes Association?
What about them?
I don't know. I don't know where they are. The Cancer Association has to come forward in
look here,
October.
people are paying taxes to the government. Among the things the government is supposed to do is to maintain an adequate health service.
Yeah, that is true.
It is not being done.
It is true. The hospitals are completely ignored.
Yes.
And the health service is completely ignored.
Yes.
So people, is it that they want to get rid of a few people since we have so many being born?
Well, I don't know. And I don't know what right they would have to do that.
Well, if a person can't walk after a time and they can't see after a time, that all comes from diabetes, their limbs.
But it's not just diabetes, there are all sorts of other things too.
Well,
right?
The two ones that I know is very, very high. Is cancer and diabetes. But diabetes can be prevented. You get it, but you can control it. As I was speaking to them, a young taxi man drive by, they flag him down. Tell me, Steve, about your diabetes. I said, you're very young. Why would you have that? He said, have it from 16. And he's on insulin. I said, then you got your card? And I have no time for that. I don't know what card I'm talking about. Right? I mean, it's ridiculous. You don't feel sorry for these people.
Yes.
Yes?
But, I don't know, maybe during the 5th term they will do something about these things.
Let's go to another thing.
You think that's possible?
Yeah? I think that there's always hope. We all put everything on God to do it for us.
On God?
Yeah. God will solve.
Then if you're going to put it on God, why bother to vote for Sister P?
Why bother to vote at all? Why bother to vote?
Well, there you are. I mean, if
God can do the miracle.
Well, if that is the way you think about it.
Yeah. Well, they're not supposed to be ignorant of something that's there for them. The drugstores will not tell you about it. Why? They don't want you to get the medication any cheaper. Willie, why are you complaining about stockpiling of ammunition?
About what?
Stockpiling of ammunition.
Am I complaining about it?
I hear you always talking nowadays about that you hear there's stockpiles here and stockpiles there. And what is it that can buy ammunition? Money, right?
Yes.
Where does the money come from?
Good question.
Drugs, right?
Is it?
You see anybody going after drug men, especially if they live in influential areas? I saw Mr. Mark Shields in Megamart on Saturday. And I said to him, Mr. Shields, what is the sense of you keep talking about drug piles and you're getting after them? You know, to stop something, you have to get to the bottom. How come you're not hauling in any of the big drug men? The ones that all Jamaica know as drug men.
All Jamaica, you know them?
A lot of them are known to many people.
Are they known to you?
I don't know because I can't say what is heard to me, but the police should know. I'm not a police.
So if the police have this information, why don't they do something about it?
That's what I was asking him.
Eh?
That's what I was asking him. He tells me, he has a brilliant smile, you know. He's a very good-looking man. Oh, we know them, you know. We will get to them. That was the last of the conversation. If you're going to stop the end of a story, you have to catch it from the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Right? We're going about things wrong in this island. You cannot get ammunition unless you pay for them. But I notice they only bring in the ones like in the country, say him is a big don and them grab him. What about the little petite ones that are hidden in the higher echelons of society?
Well?
What about them? Do they ever get known? Do you ever wonder how some people get so wealthy and you can't tell what the hell they're doing? And if you ask them what they're doing, they tell you something you can't believe they could live the way they're living from. Right? Mr. Green and Mr. Shields better sharpen their ears and get after where the beginning starts.
Do you think that politics has anything to do with this?
I don't know, because you're now saying that you don't know which political sides the ammunition is being, the guns and all are being piled for. You don't know which side.
Which of the political sides do you think would have an interest in spreading the story about guns being brought in to make a bloody election?
Which would you think?
Eh?
Which would you think?
I beg your pardon?
Which would you think?
Well, I don't know. I'm asking you.
You always have a way of twisting things.
Eh?
You always have a way of twisting things.
I have a way of twisting things?
Right. Why don't you state what you think once in a while?
But what would be the interest in spreading a story about huge volumes of guns being brought into the country and stockpiled to carry out plans for a bloody election? Right? Who would have the interest
in... And the Commissioner of Police said it's going to be...
No, who would have an interest in spreading that story around the country?
I don't know. I think both parties would have an interest.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
I see.
I think both parties.
You mean...
But I don't think the person who wrote that article...
You think that the opposition might have an interest in imposing severe, extreme, and resolute measures in preparation for the election?
Why are you using that quote to go back to arms being stored?
Well, why not?
Right?
Why not? The person who said it is the Minister of National Security.
Right away you jump in to defend the opposition. I'm not defending.
I'm just asking a question. I'm not putting forward any defense.
But you are putting a quote to something that's irrelevant.
You think it is irrelevant?
Irrelevant when it was said by Mr.
No,
Pickett
but hold on a minute.
Years ago.
Hold on a minute. If large numbers of Jamaicans believe that guns are being stockpiled in huge numbers and that there is a plan to make this the bloodiest election, right? Wouldn't they want to see the government doing something about it?
Well, I'm just telling you the two people that should be doing.
And if the government is going to
along with the commissioner.
No, hold on. Wouldn't the government, in circumstances like these, be supported by the people who are terrified out of their wits by these stories, wouldn't they have the support of those people in imposing severe measures which might themselves influence the outcome of an election?
The government does not go looking for ammunition. It is the police force, the commissioner.
But the police force is an agency of the government.
That is their business.
The police force is an agency of the government.
But you just don't tell me, sir, that nobody can do anything about the Diabetic Association but the government. Right?
Tell me something. Mr. Golding is your friend. Would you like to see them take him and lock him up in Black Fence?
Why would they do that?
Eh?
Why would they do that?
Oh, you mean? Why did they lock up Mr. Pernell Charles?
Why are you bringing nightmares into people's lives?
Bringing what?
You know how many people know about Pernell Charles and Black Fence? That has outgrown that story. They know nothing about it.
Oh, yes, precisely.
Right?
So I think it's very important that they learn about it.
Well, if you're going to keep preaching that, then maybe it could happen.
Eh?
Maybe it could maybe you're giving them ideas they never had.
Maybe I'm giving... No, man, they had these ideas.
You think so?
How you mean?
You have the mind of a
Did they declare a state of emergency in 1976?
I remember it. Because I was chased out of the country.
Yes, indeed. And didn't it work very well?
Remember?
Didn't it work very well for them?
I lost my whole life. I lost my husband. I lost my business. Everything. And I was... Every day was home guard.
You mean as a result of the state of emergency? Eh?
As a result that I was holding ammunition in my house in Barbican for the JLP.
Yes.
Right? They came there 5 times with these long guns in khaki uniform.
Well, you needn't fear. I mean, they would know that if you're holding ammunition now, it wouldn't be for the JLP, so that wouldn't worry them.
I never held ammunition for anybody. Never have and never will.
Yes.
That was the will of an imaginative prime minister that thought he could rule this country in like an African way. Africa is having the most problems.
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. Hello?
Do you realize that I called you to talk about afflictions to people in this country and you are now gone into...
Yes, we talked about diabetes.
About black fence and white fence and all.
Yes, but we talk about diabetes and we talked about the need
Do you realize
for
that
the government of this country to provide from the taxes that people are paying an adequate health service. But the problem is that Dr. Davis is consuming all this money in servicing the debt that he has imposed upon the country.
Well,
is that so?
More people die from cancer and are harmed from diabetes every day than the gunmen are shooting.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that is true.
I can tell you that has to be true. But since all our committees are...
So why don't you tell your Minister of Health to do something about this?
Because I don't believe he should be a Minister of Health.
You don't think he should be a minister?
No. Oh, no. These positions just can't be filled by anybody. Like the chairman of cancer and diabetes. They shouldn't be the chairman of it. They don't investigate it. They're just big shots.
So
it's like in this country.
Do you have any idea who should be minister of...
A doctor.
A doctor?
Yeah. Like Dr. Bow, he was the best minister of health.
Oh, is that so?
That's right.
I see.
He was the best one. And he did everything in his power to make sure hospitals were built and clinics were going to be built. You can't have just anybody.
You sound like you... You sound like you flipping and flopping. What? Like you're going back to the Labour Party.
No. Where I am in Olympic Gardens, they tell me it's Andrew Holness, right? The people I'm helping there. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I'm talking about people. When you talk about Mr. Dalias being the Minister of Health, he's not suitable for it.
I see.
He's just not suitable.
So who in Sister P's party you think might make a better Minister of Health?
Well, maybe they could put Dr. Blythe. He's a doctor.
Dr. Blythe?
Well, any doctor.
You think he would do a better job than he did as Minister of Housing?
Well, I don't think he knows anything about housing.
I see.
But he would know about health.
I see.
Right? Or why don't they get a doctor, period, who's involved in healing people?
Well, maybe you would start building hotels and, hospitals. And, it would be more than...
Well, I'm only saying him as
it would be more than 400 million,
Are you telling me there's no other doctor in the PNP? But you see, you have to be in a constituency and voted for by the people before you can get a ministerial thing, and that is foolish.
Well, that is not true.
Why? You can't just put somebody there?
You can be in the Senate, yes.
That's in the Senate.
Except as Minister of Finance.
So how would you get him to...
But I suppose that Dr. Davis will resume that one.
I said, how would they get him to be the head of health if he's in the Senate?
If what?
If he's in the Senate, how do they get him to be a minister?
Who?
Anybody they put in there.
Yes, the Prime Minister appoints a minister. You didn't know that?
Well, I don't understand the government that much, but I'm saying he's very incapable, and I don't think it's only him.
Yes.
Those that are in these positions are in there so long that they've become stagnant. They don't know what's going on.
Oh, you think that is a position?
That is a position for the civil servant. Completely stagnant.
The civil servant?
Right.
What about the ministers?
The minister is incapable. That said minister is incapable.
I see. You think that... What about... well, I don't know. Which one of them you think is capable?
I don't look at the PNP that much to know who's capable.
I thought you were supporting Sister P, man.
I'm supporting Portia because I like her and I think she can make a change. This is not her government.
I see.
Right? She inherited
So which is going to be her government?
She inherited all these scandals from Patterson.
All the scandals from Patterson.
Right. And she's reaping what...
But she was a member of the government too.
Right, but she was not a member that spoke.
She wasn't a member that spoke.
Stand up and say, sit down, shut up your mouth. Like Knight told her about it.
Was she a member that listened?
That what?
Was she a member that listened?
Listened? You can listen and don't say nothing. You don't have to say you're a...
I hear her saying that she's not a talker, no? She's a doer, something like that.
Oh, you hear everything she said.
Well, she seems to spend a fair amount of time talking.
I wish she would start talking and get out in the country parts and campaign.
No, man, she's out there campaigning like hell.
How you know?
Yes, man, I know that.
I don't see it in the papers.
It doesn't matter.
You know what happened to you? You go to bed at night and Portia is your ghost. You dream of Portia. You wake up with Portia. If I was Elaine, I would get jealous that she's in the bed with you.
Is that so?
Right. That's all that's on your brain.
I see.
Right?
Anyway, thank you very much.
Okay.
Lovely hearing from you. Hello? Hello? What's going on? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Perkins, you're going.
Boy, tell me now.
You know something? I have to jump into this argument, because, as the next candidate that is going to represent Portmore, I wonder what Shakespeare said something that all the world is a stage, huh? So it seemed to me that Jamaica has become a stage in this year of our Lord 2007, where we are preparing for an election. The stage is being nicely set. What happened? Somebody fear that they might not be able to win at all cost?
Well, what do you have in mind?
No, I have no doubt that the commissioner probably quite rightly has had information correctly. But I hear different political leaders in the governing
What
party.
information are you talking about? About the storing of arms?
Yeah, guns being stockpiled.
Yes. But if the commissioner has this information, why doesn't he do something about it?
You see, I can't tell the commissioner.
Why? No, but come now. As commissioner of police, what do you think his role is? To come out like the Bishop Blair and the rest of them, telling the public about this horrible thing that awaits them? Or do you think his job is to track down the guns and the persons who are bringing them in and storing them?
Right.
And put an end to the threat.
To protect and to serve the people of Jamaica.
Yes.
But,
is there any, has the public been given any information that this is what he's about?
Well, you see, Mr. Perkins, let me tell you something. I cannot speak for the commissioner. I would sincerely hope, though, that I agree with the Prime Minister in one sense that when we have these informations, we sometimes ought to hold them a little closer to our chest and act on them. Not necessarily spell them out so that people who are doing these things will have time to pack up their wrongdoings and go into different directions. You know? Right? But one of the things that it interests me is to hear a comment by the mayor of Portmore in a council meeting, and he was speaking in his right as a mayor, which is so privileged to do, and nobody can refute what he's saying because he's speaking, from that position. That he has information that guns are being stockpiled in Portmore, and then further to that, there was an interview, I think, on TVJ yesterday morning, which a community of Nagazed was mentioned. No, I have a difficulty with that position. Because when you begin to broad brush an entire community in that way, you're setting the stage for something, and I am not sure what exactly it is that the mayor has in mind. But he has best be careful, and that because you see, I have heard things, and what I've done with what I've heard is pass them on to the people that the information should get to.
Yes.
I expect those people to act on behalf of the citizenry of Portmore.
Well,
and
has the mayor not passed on his information to those people?
No, well, he made a comment in the council, and he said he will set up a meeting sometime next week. Sometime next week.
I see.
With the police.
Or he didn't think it an urgent matter?
No, well, that is my concern. If it is that the mayor has this information that guns are being stockpiled in Portmore, when I got such information, I immediately...
Oh, you had information like that?
Yes, but the communities that are being mentioned.
Yes.
And you see, this is not...
You had the information.
I've heard...
Independently of the mayor.
Right.
That guns are being stockpiled in Portmore?
I'm not necessarily stockpiling, but that guns are coming into sections of Portmore.
Oh, is that so?
From other areas. And I have given the information to the relevant authorities, and because none of us in Portmore would like to sit down and watch a situation such as that develop and not to be a responsible...
So what you're saying is that these allegations, to your knowledge, have validity?
Some truth to it, but what the truth, what is not coming out is the particular areas that they are coming in. It is being put across as if because Nagazed is controlled or is represented, I should say, by a Labour Party council. You understand what I'm saying, Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
And that the information is not coming in that way. And one should be careful how you get up and broad brush communities. And, when you do this and you get a reaction from people in those inner city communities that you're broad brushing that way because people take offense, that kind of a thing. Right? And if the mayor is being a responsible mayor and not just playing a political puppetry role, then you would say exactly what is going on, which is the truth of the matter.
Do you know exactly what is going on?
Well, listen, Mr. Perkins, I don't, there's not everything you go on public radio to say or thing, but as a responsible political representative, whatever information that I have passed on to the police. And I expect the police to react to the information that they get because, you see, to me, the interest for me is not served when you have a few criminals going around trying to create name or to bring about what was thought to be created in the earlier years of Greater Portmore and Portmore becoming one of the biggest ghetto, or one of the 14th garrison. You understand what I'm saying? That we're not sitting down and we're not waiting on anything of that nature to happen. But I'm just simply saying to the mayor, if he has this information, stop going on national TV and broad brushing in a particular community. I've not done that. Go to the police immediately and have the police deal with the matter. You are the mayor of the city. You run the city of Portmore.
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back with you. Hello?
Mr. Perkins.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, man.
You said earlier on that you're hoping to be the next mayor of Portmore?
Yes.
You are Mr.?
Hines. Keith Hines is the name, sir.
Keith Hines?
Yes.
And you represent the
Labour Party.
The Jamaica Labour Party?
Yes.
And you're disagreeing with the mayor over his handling of this matter, right? Having come out in public and said that he had knowledge of this.
Yes, because if it is that he has knowledge, and I do have a difficulty because the way we treat politics in Portmore is I've never gone out or set out to try to tear down the mayor. I deal with the issues at hand and try to stick to reasoning situation. I don't get into
but
the
you know, sir, you are doing exactly what you're accusing the mayor of doing.
No, but Mutty,
you are coming out in public.
Yes.
And saying that you have this information too, right? That what essentially
is it being said?
You are doing now what the mayor did.
No.
Yes, sir.
No, let me tell you what is the difference here.
Yes.
The difference here is that this information is not any new information. This information is something that I've heard several months ago. And I'm not afraid to tell you that once I heard it, it was registered with the proper authorities. Because you hear things, you have not seen anything, but what you hear is enough concern for you to register your concerns with the proper authorities. No, I could safely say that, well, it is this particular area that I hear about on national radio or that particular area, and make it look.
Well, did the mayor say that?
Well, it was said on TVJ the other morning that one of the concerned area was Nagozet Division.
He said it?
Well, the parts of the interview I heard, yes, sir.
The mayor said it?
Right? And, if that is so, then, you have to be no concern what exactly is driving the mayor to... Is that
your division?
No. It is a JLP division in terms of the JLP is as a JLP council here. But what I'm saying, I don't have a difficulty if Nagozet is bringing in guns and storing it. Then the information should duly go to the police, and the police should act on the matter, especially if it is coming from a responsible enough citizen, such as the first citizen of Portmore, the mayor himself. What concerns me, Mutty, is not that I'm doing what he's doing. I simply have to respond to him in public because he has brought it in the public domain and brought out the name of a particular division. I am just simply saying to him, though, if it is that this information is valid and true, I really don't care whether it was a JLP control division or a PMP control division. What is happening is that we need to get the information to the proper authorities immediately.
Yes.
Not next week, immediately, so that the police and we need to sit down. And I'm sure we have a very competent superintendent of police in Portmore, which I have the greatest confidence.
Yes, but you are saying that the police already have the information and the guns are being brought in.
Listen, and Mutty, don't let anybody give you the impression. As far as I know, there is an investigation going on, right? And both of ourselves, we're not police officers. So I can't speak to how the police deal with their investigation. But what I will say to you is that if it is that the information is brought to my attention as a political leader in this community, it is my responsibility to take it to where it ought to go, because what other purpose could be served by saying to the citizens of Portmore, well, you know, guns are being stockpiled for the elections. That is a specific allegation. And if it is coming from the mayor of Portmore, who happens to be a member of the People's National Party, one has got to construe, then he is
but
saying...
But that is what the Commissioner of Police said?
Right?
That guns are being stockpiled to make this a bloody election?
But if the Commissioner says that, and he's not speaking to a specific political party, it could be either of the political parties. And
yes.
From what I know of the Labour Party
but
at the moment, it is not in our interest to do anything of the sort.
The PNP is in power.
Yes.
Why would the PNP be bringing in guns to create violence and bloodshed for the election?
Mutty, I am not a member of the People's National Party. I couldn't answer that question.
The suggestion out there,
yes.
I suspect that from all that has been said, the impression that people are getting is that if anything, it is the Labour Party bringing it.
But what purpose would it serve when the Labour Party at the moment is sitting in the position to take over the country at the next election? What purpose would it serve for the Labour Party to go out to stockpile guns for an election? You tell me.
Well,
at this time, the election is not for us to win, it is for us to lose it.
My impression is
yes.
that the story that has been put out I think that what people are getting from it is that they are saying or it is being suggested that it is the opposition that is involved in this. Is that your impression?
Well, that is the impression that is trying to be conveyed, and I think it is our responsibility to ensure that no such impression is given, because, as I said to you earlier, Mutty, that a stage is being set. And I sincerely hope...
A stage is being set?
Yes, that is my view. Somebody is setting a stage. Because they feel...
For what?
I don't know if it is that they feel that they're going to lose an election, and so they are preparing themselves to take things to a different level, because it has been said by, other highly placed people in the People's National Party that they intend to have a fifth term, and some people have got to the point of saying, listen, under no circumstances they would live in Jamaica under a Labour Party government. So by all means necessary, we have to try and win this election. No, I am that stage that is being laid. It is being laid on a premise that cannot hold any water in this country, because people are no longer as silly as they used to be.
But you are saying that the guns are in fact being stockpiled?
I am saying that my information, and it had nothing to do with a political reasoning. The information that I had nothing to do with politics. It had to do with people who are running from here to 80, bringing guns back here for drugs. Right?
Yes,
and that is the information that is out there, and people need to understand. So when you're putting across a political spin on this thing, what we need to do is take the information that is out there and seriously, because, Mutty, if you look at it, right? If you look at it in the last couple of years, the biggest cache of guns that has been found here, right? The gentleman who died, who had the gun, who was carrying those guns, had nothing to do with the Labour Party, right? When he died and they went to Wharf and look, it had nothing to do with the Labour Party.
But let me ask you something. Why would people be trading drugs for guns on the scale? I mean, I take it that people who are in the business of trading drugs want to get money.
Yes.
That's their ultimate aim. Maybe they might need some guns on the way. But what would be the point in bringing in and stockpiling these huge quantities of guns, sending out the drugs that they have, right? Raising all this amount of guns. It doesn't seem to me to make sense. On the basis of the way they carry on their business, they may well find themselves needing some guns, but not stockpiles of guns.
Okay, if it is that we look at the facts of what is happening in Jamaica today, we can see where that equation is. One, when you have a serious economic crisis on your hands, where people are telling you that, boy, the economy is growing, and when you want 60 casual workers and you can go on one corner, just one corner, and ask for them, and they are produced to you in 10 minutes in one corner in Jamaica, and we are sitting down here talking about the devil find work for idle hands. It has always been the practice of the Jamaica Labour Party to provide jobs so the economy can grow and we can have people out there working. And even the worst young man you see out on the road now, one of the reasons that he's on the road is because people will say he's unemployable and irredeemable. Right?
Yeah, but you're not answering my question.
Well, my question...
We are being told that drugs are being exchanged for guns.
Yes.
In the trade with Haiti.
Yes.
Right? What is the need for all these guns here in Jamaica?
Well, I don't even think it's a political need anymore. I think what has happened to our people is that we get into this habit.
I'm afraid I have to leave you. It's time for the news, eh? All the best to you. Okay, we'll be back here in about 20 minutes. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the land, upon the world, but upon the land. Okay. Did you hear that report of Mr. Garnet Roper, the Reverend Garnet Roper? Saying reported in the news as saying that the Hanover Parish Council affair is a worse scandal than Trafigura. They need a scandal, you know. They need a scandal an antidote for Trafigura. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello, good day, Mr. Perkins.
Good day. Hi, good day to you. How are you?
Good, man.
You're good?
Yeah, but I agree with you, the PNP really.
But I hear it is...
Mr. Perkins.
Man, I hear it is freezing cold in the United States.
No, it's not our side. They have 31 deaths out in the east.
Out in the east?
Eastern coast with ice storm, but our side so far this year, no snow yet.
Where are you? In New York? No, not New York.
New Jersey region.
New Jersey, yes. No snow there? But I heard it was freezing in New York. I heard an item on the...
No, it's getting cold. It started out this morning at 53, and it is now about 35 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, that's so.
And wind...
And according to what I heard on the news, it was freezing even in Texas?
Yeah, in Texas, even though those places generally warm, and in Arizona, 31 people die in a storm, and Oklahoma and them place there on the snow.
Yes.
Denver.
But out in the northeast, they're getting a very great winter so far.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, keep your fingers crossed.
Yes, because you never know when it might rain, you know?
Absolutely.
Nobody can stop the rain.
Yes.
Or snow. Mr. Perkins, I heard Pastor Roper accusation of this worthless. What did that man say?
Eh?
You know, that man is a PMP lunatic, you know, Mr. Perkins. Him and Harry Douglas with his sense.
Hold on just a moment. Hold on a moment for me. Back here online. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. Yes. I don't think it's a sane comparison, sir. Because in any mayor in any city that is looking investment, mayors and councils do give big business incentives to develop in their particular area that they govern. It's a standard practice anywhere in the world.
For them to do what?
And they give like tax incentives, etc., to developers.
Well, I tell you,
in their particular city.
I tell you what, as I understand it, you see, that is not the crux of the matter, because the entire council, I gather, voted in favor of making that concession, including the PNP councillors.
Right? And if Mr. Crooks even lead the argument, Mr.
Yes.
Perkins, ain't that what the mayor is supposed to do? To be the leader
but not only that, I would expect the opposition members, the PNP members of the council, to exercise their independent judgment. And in doing so, if that is what they did, they sided with the mayor on that issue. But what is being said is that he had a trucking company which was employed in the building of this hotel. Now, what I would like to know, and I haven't heard anybody discussing it, is whether he was that trucking company was contracted to building contractors, a firm of building contractors that was contracted to do the building of the hotel, or whether it was contracted to the owners of the hotel that was being built.
So that would be good to determine, Mr. Perkins. But either way, Mr. Perkins, I met Cook's father when I was about 17, and they were building some road in D-side, mountainside,
yes,
Claremont, Jericho, those places through the cane field of Hanover. And those people have the most trucks in Hanover. There's no way you was going to build a hotel in Hanover, Mr. Cook's employees don't get work.
Well,
and look at Michael Bloomberg, Mr. Perkins, billionaire in New York. When he make economic decisions, you cannot stop certain people from making money or from participating in society's development, Mr. Perkins, because they already have the money and the resources.
I see, yes.
And if we're going to beat down people who are business people from participating in development of the country, I don't know what we're trying to build or trying to do or say. And you cannot compare with Chafagora, where they're talking about reparation, but at the same time they're selling out to a foreign company. Nothing is wrong with donation to political party, but all of it must be homegrown.
Well, here in Jamaica,
in almost every country.
Here in Jamaica, you know, so the government finds itself in a bit of a predicament, right? It wants to be in a position to campaign on the basis that, yes, we are corrupt, but the opposition is also corrupt. So it is searching for evidence. It is searching for evidence of corruption in the parish councils, you see?
True. Like the wolf argument about violence, Mr. Perkins. How many murders they have committed in 1980?
I can't remember now, sir. But
there's about 800, some people said 600 and so forth.
Well, I think 800 was in 1980. 865, I think it was, somewhere there. But that remained the record until 1996.
Yeah. All right. So Mr. Perkins, from 1996 to 2007 now, which year in Jamaica has the murder rate has not been above what it was in 1980?
Yes, in the murder rate this last year was well above 1980.
And every year, 2052 was recorded 2 times 1980 figure.
Yes.
203 was the same, 202.
But I can't, 1980.
1996.
I can't remember what the where the numbers went after that. You know, I think they were not think. I know they went down.
But every year since we hit the 1,000 mark, Mr. Perkins, even while Mr. Adams was at the same too, the murder rate in Jamaica has been above 1,000. I don't know about the gun when I believe it's just a wolf argument, you know, Mr. Perkins. Because where was the gun stockpiling that caused the high murder rate between 1996 to current?
Well, there are a lot of guns knocking around Jamaica, you know, so.
Yeah, looking for something.
Hell of a lot of guns.
And communities have the most crimes on them, Mr. Perkins.
Eh?
If you ever check out the crime statistics constituency by constituency in Jamaica, you will find that most of the crimes are committed within the PNP communities of them, Mr. Perkins.
Is that so?
If you ever check out the real situation in Jamaica. And as a Jamaican, Mr. Perkins, I know that both people who affiliated or probably vote for either party in the corporate era. All of the ghettos in the corporate areas have guns, and PNP have more garrisons in the corporate areas than JLP.
Yes,
I fool ourselves about these things. It's no new stockpile going on, Mr. Perkins.
I beg your pardon?
It's just a wolf argument.
Oh. Well, I don't know. It may be more than that.
Because, every year since 1996, Mr. Perkins, has been worse than 1980, and it was not political fighting. JLP sweet PNP in 203, and there was no political violence. So I don't know where this new argument is. Every time PNP about to lose on Mr. Perkins, that's the only similarity I see with 1980. They come up with this thing about violence, and the countries are already under shock from the amount of violence being committed without election. First they tried to blame the deportees, and it didn't add up. Now they're trying to blame the election, and it's the same bad government. The constant we have is the same bad government in place.
Yes, all right, sir.
Check it out, sir.
All right, thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay, hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
I haven't called you since 2004 during Hurricane Ivan.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, a long time.
Well, why?
Why, I've been so busy, you know, Mr. Perkins. But, you know, I was one of your regular callers.
Making a lot of money?
Huh?
Making a lot of money?
Why, I wish I'm sucking salt like yourself. Yes, well, you see, in the issue of the whole, Mayor of Hanover resigning.
Yes.
You know, the leader of the opposition, Mr. Bolin, you know, asked him really to resign. It shows you the difference of a Jamaica Labour Party type leadership. You know, when, if anything happen, or so there any speculation of whatever, the people resign. And it's not the first time that we have a mayor that have resigned. Dr. Wilmot Notice had resigned, if you remember.
Yes.
You know, no questions asked whether it was right or wrong. He took a bold step and resigned in the interest of the country.
Yes.
And I believe that our governing party, which has been in power for almost 18 years next month, February 9th, must take such bold stance too, you know, when they mess up, and they have been messing up.
So who do you want to resign now?
No, I personally, I'm not calling for anybody to resign, but I'm just saying that it shows you the difference with the two parties. Now, look at the whole fiasco there, and the mayor of Hanover resigned. I mean, I think I think the leader asked him to resign, but you see the stance that the party takes. He doesn't stay there and so forth. It shows you the difference with the Jamaica Labour Party from the People's National Party.
Well, it could be argued that Mr. Colin Campbell resigned over the Traffic Bureau matter?
Yes. After a lot of pressure from outside and even in his party.
Well.
And you will look, for example, with Minister Paulwell, who have messed up quite a number of times, but yet he's still there. And you remember the former Prime Minister said it was youthful exuberance. So, you look on issues like that and you wonder, you see the difference, and this is just maybe a precursor to what a Jamaica Labour Party government would be like. Hello?
I heard you, sir.
Yes, I really think so. With regards to the profit, the pollster was proven wrong, the Bill Johnson pollster, and I think the profit will be proven wrong too.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, not that if anybody, I'm not hitting against anybody who get messages from God. I'm not going into that. But, boy, I really don't think we should mix religion or denomination with politics.
Yes.
Really, I don't.
Well, what seems to be happening, sir, is that God is being, an attempt is being made.
Yes.
To exploit the name of God.
Yes.
For political ends.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and I don't think that's right, because when you really look into it, that means all of us have a different God then in a sense, because one person will say God tell him that, and next person will say God tell him that, and it's two different things, but it's one God.
Well.
So it creates a problem there, so you're one name. So sometimes you even get so confused. So I think it's best we'll leave God out of our political framework, because what if our dear Prime Minister does something wrong? Is that the will of God too?
Well, we're being asked to believe that, yes.
that's what we want to know.
Well, we're being asked to believe that our dear Prime Minister doesn't do anything wrong.
Yes.
Because whatever she does, however wrong it may seem to you or to me,
yes,
it is we who are wrong.
Yes. Because
she's on a mission from God.
Yes.
Right? And carrying out the will of God.
Yes. Yes, but with regards to that, they normally say, in religious and Christian circles, that 7 represents God's number. God's number.
Yes.
Right? That's the whole number of completeness and so forth. So people are looking maybe at this year, 2007, being a year of completeness. The Jamaica Labour Party may be looking at it as the year of their victory, and the People's National Party also is looking at it that way.
Yes.
But I want to wish you a happy new year, though. All the best for 2007.
Thank you very much.
And we hope it will be a better year. All right?
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Yes,
all the best. Hello? Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll come back shortly. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here. And we go now to our email correspondence.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins. Just a little on the Prime Minister's statement on the issue of water supply. She says she wants to see piped water in every house in Jamaica. I saw her bragging about water supplies in St. Elizabeth. But I would like to direct her attention to Mount Ogle, Lawrence Tavern, and in St. Barons in West Rural constituency, where my parents have been paying water bills on a monthly basis, and I could not tell you the last time water came in the tap.
I beg your pardon? They're paying the water bills?
Yes.
But not getting water in the taps?
Yes.
Now why do they pay the water bills?
It is very dishonest for this type of impression to be given that because a pipe is in the area, water supplies will be available. This is too much of a political trick. Dear Mr. Perkins, you mentioned the age of enlightenment the other day. It seems that our God-given Prime Minister is harking back to the days when religion held sway over the populace and the world stagnated under the heavy heel of God. This is not my vision for Jamaica. I desire a Jamaica that will be developed, that will have rational reasoning as its basis. I cannot see the present lady in that post.
Yes, but may I also point out to you that you should be very careful how you throw around the name of God. Have some respect for God. Don't go accusing him of things of which he's not guilty.
Mr. Perkins, there are a few things I wish to bring to your attention. One, Mr. Trevor Jackson of the toll road, Portmore Toll, says that the email read last week about the lady who said she broke down on the toll road and the police said that they could not come because they could not afford the toll. He says that the police are not charged at all.
I'm not surprised to hear that.
That road.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolutely not charged at all.
I was a little surprised to hear that.
Yes. The second thing is that we have about 10 or 12 emails since morning and several from yesterday from various parts of the world complaining about the internet service, about the on-demand service, and the toll-free line.
I wonder what's happening to that. I don't know.
Just a brief note, says this one, which came in this morning at 10:24. There are frequent breaks at the intervals, every 30 or 40 seconds on your program, thus rendering it impossible to hear anything. This has been going on since last Tuesday or Wednesday. Strangely, this does not happen during commercials or on other programs. Please do a survey of your listenership, because I understand it showed that you have a listenership of 1.4 million Jamaicans in territories of Florida and Georgia alone.
I beg your pardon? Where do you get that?
No wonder. Here's a mail.
Huh?
Here's a mail.
Yes, but where does he get that information?
I don't know. No wonder they are doing this. But you should have the engineers at Power 106, if they don't already know about it, check this out. Mr. Perkins, genealogy is an interesting science. We in Jamaica practice it a lot.
What is that?
Genealogy.
Yeah. How do you spell it?
Genealogy. That's how it's spelled, honey.
Uh-huh.
I hear a bumping and a knocking.
Yes, of course.
I don't know where it's coming from. We in Jamaica practice it a lot. Any Jamaican of a certain age can trace your background just from hearing your name or where in the island you spring from. Who is your father? Who married who?
Oh, I see.
Or who had a child
yes.
with who? Whether legitimate or illegitimate. All very interesting. Mr. Perkins, you are an inquiring mind. Perhaps you could do some little genealogy in checking the background of the property in Point, Lucy, Hanover, where the Fiesta people from Spain are building an hotel. As I recall it, being an old man, this property used to be that of the late Costas de Lissa of Montego Bay. It was acquired by government under the Land Acquisition Act during the Manley era.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Mr. Perkins.
And then, I see, that ended there?
He asked you to check into the genealogy of the ownership since then.
All right.
As they relate, he mentions cousins and who married who and aunts and so forth.
All right.
Dear Mr. Perkins, help. On November 17th, 2006, I mailed 7 letters at Southfield Post Office in St. Elizabeth at the cost of over $800. The reason for the high cost is because they contained Christmas cards. The destinations are to various postal addresses in England at as much as 150 miles apart. To date, not one of those 7 letters has been received. When I inquired at the post office in Southfield a week before Christmas to ask for the mailing address of the Central Postal Office in Kingston, I was told that they haven't got one. I needed to wait 8 weeks before I could make any inquiry because the letters were not registered, and therefore I was told that they could not be traced. I agree on that, but 8 weeks, Mr. Perkins? I have abandoned the idea of contacting the head office or mailing any more letters for obvious reasons. And I would like, through your program, to hear from anyone who has lost mail during this period. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. And I hope that they're able to track down your letters and ultimately deliver them.
This is a letter from Mavis Bank, East Rural St. Andrew, which was delivered to us today. Dear Mr. Perkins, on Friday evening, January 5th, I took a certain boss, he gives a registration number and so forth, to take me up to where I live, in a district of resource, David's Hill in Upper St. Andrew. Mr. Perkins, as a matter of conversation, when we were going through a certain area, I spoke about, when the bus was in Kingston, I spoke about the number of persons in the area who were obviously using the lights illegally. As a senior citizen, a pensioner, I said that as a domestic helper who has to wait on a little pension from my former employers before I can pay my light bill and so on, it hurts me to know to come and find these people using up free light while I sometimes have to sit in darkness, and to know that my taxes is paying for it. Mr. Perkins, you have to give it to the PNP. They're full of tricks. All of what is going on with Mayor Crooks is to postpone the parish council elections.
Oh.
Don't you see that,
I
Mr.
don't see that
Perkins?
one.
Why are you giving that man Roper, who had to go and form his own church in a PNP constituency, why are you elevating what he says? He's not worth it, Mr. Perkins. He should be out of sight, out of mind.
Oh, Lord, don't say that about...
Such people like Reverend Roper are on the same level as K.D. Knight. They are an example of intellectualism in the PNP. As for the PAC, Mr. Perkins, the chairman must demand respect from K.D. Knight. I do not understand why we, the people of Jamaica, allow this kind of disrespect in our parliament.
Well, you're right in that a lot of the things, the untoward that happen in Jamaica, happen because the people are prepared to tolerate them.
Mr. Mutty Perkins, the international toll-free line, which all of you Power 106 hosts continue to announce, has been malfunctioning for some time now. We are getting a recorded message to enter account number, etc. Possibly the line has got a little malaria.
Oh, is that so?
So kindly check with your managers.
That's very odd. Oh, that reminds me, last night I was talking to a friend on the telephone. And all of a sudden, there was an interruption. And a voice came on to say, this is Cable and Wireless, or something to this effect. Our lines are
circuits
fully engaged.
All our circuits are busy.
All our circuits are busy, yes. So you have to try call again later. Something to that. So
and this is in the middle of your conversation?
Yes, in the middle of a conversation that we were having. I really do understand that one.
Mr. Perkins, tell me something. If Power 106 employed you over a number of other applicants and put you before the microphone, would you tell your listeners that you are waiting for the next paycheck before you open your mouth? I do not understand Sister P.
Oh.
At one instance, she tells you, I am the Prime Minister. I have the power. I will say what time election is being called or what. Nobody's going to push me. But when she's called upon to act in a way that can benefit the country, to help our citizens understand better what government is all about and what we can expect from people who represent us in Parliament, it gets too hot in the kitchen. When are we going to have a political debate? I would love to hear her on TV discussing with anyone, not just Mr. Goulding. Any intelligent interviewer, unbiased, about herself and her vision for this country. She won't be able to read from any prepared text.
I don't think that you're going to see that in a hurry.
Interesting times are coming.
You could as well forget it.
Interesting times.
Hold on, we have to take a break. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. And we're just going to read a few more of these.
Mr. Perkins, I could just add them together.
Yes.
Boy, I tell you, so many of them. Mr. Perkins, we'd like to hear from an expert or the person in charge of information technology at Power 106 FM as to why we, the listening public on the internet, are constantly frustrated by the disruption of Mr. Perkins' program. It doesn't happen on any other power program, and it's getting from bad to worse. We hear all the other programs perfectly, and as soon as Mutty comes on, we start having disruptions. Mutty, please don't attempt to explain, as this is not your doing. I think if a radio station is going to provide a service, then do it, or ask people to pay and deliver. I find it very disrespectful and disconcerting that people wait on the program all morning, and then as soon as it starts, there's a problem. Absolute rubbish. Typical of what we are about. No commitment to service of the high standards. Cheers. But keep it up, Mutty. Don't give up.
Well, I won't try to explain it. I don't know.
There's another, Mr. Perkins. Sir Pete, looks like your opponents are becoming successful at discouraging us from listening to your program. Every minute there's an interruption on streaming. I think you should fire all the engineers off your program. They are too political.
Oh, Lord, no.
Here's another. I was listening to Independent Talk, then to that guy Ralston. No problem. Then your show was fine until you took the first caller. And he was saying that JLP Link got out of push, and you started to laugh, and that was it. Link gone. Hello, Mutty. I truly believe KD Night belongs to the Ward Theatre.
It belongs to the where?
Ward Theatre. Did you see the soundbite on CVM TV last night?
Oh, Lord.
He has made the bite of the week on television news on several occasions.
Oh, yes.
A.J. Nicholson can no longer claim to be the funniest. The sad part is that KD Diet has dragged down the whole parliament and his party with him.
Yes.
Including the PAC committee.
Yes, I thought of, just briefly, of taking off that clip and playing it, but then it struck me that there was an element of indecency in it.
Yes, it was. Vulgarity.
Yes, it wouldn't do. Well, not so much vulgarity as obscenity.
Mr. Perkins, I heard a caller this morning referring to the shortcomings of the new American embassy in the Ligony area. He was most concerned that there must be a building code or an approved process, and that the usual laws that apply to commercial buildings in Jamaica should have been adhered to. Do you remember the kerfuffle by the residents of that area with, that is, the Coalition of Citizens Association, with the KCAC, and with NEPA? You remember that the KCAC placed at least one stop order on the construction of the embassy because of the Americans' refusal to comply with the approval process? The approval was finally granted, but the number of reserve matters which were to be complied with before occupation was listed. And here he lists a lot of them. Too numerous to mention. There are 1, 2.
Yes, all right.
Yes. Anyway, says NEPA evidently allowed them to go ahead and with their construction, although it tried to put in these reservations. This is not the first time, Mr. Perkins, that NEPA has allowed certain constructions inimical to the best welfare of Jamaicans to take place. I need only remind you of the Pear Tree Bottom project. This sort of thing should not be allowed to happen.
Yes, all right.
Mr. Perkins, every time I hear a politician say they love the poor, I immediately begin distrusting them. It doesn't matter which boils they come out of. I am one from the so-called ghetto. And I can tell you, we don't love the poverty. Most of us do whatever we can. We juggle, we hustle, we work hard to get out of it.
Yes.
But yes, there are many who falls in the crack. I would hate to think that our Prime Minister would do not think before she talk, but is using psychology to put people on high without tackling the poor the poor's problem by empowering them rather than handing out poor people's pension as political favors. Mr. Perkins, I heard on the radio this morning that they will be now giving out $50 million of the NIS funds immediately. My father, who was a porter at Kingston Public Hospital for over 40 years, do you know how much he used to get for NIS? He started by getting 27 shillings every 2 weeks. It is now $56. So the business of saying that the NIS had overabundance of funds is not true. I work hard, especially my mother, and got myself out of the ghetto. But, Mr. Perkins, it wasn't easy. Nobody loved me. Nobody gave me anything.
Yes, it is shameful what is going on. And there are people, while there are persons receiving NIS pensions that cannot, a week's pension, a fortnight's pension, cannot buy them 2 weeks of food at current prices. Right? It is shameful. And it's good to see that the Chamber of Commerce is taking a strong stand against it. Okay, hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins. Some time ago last year I spoke to you about an insurance thing. I don't know if you remember, about the lawyer who wouldn't disclose.
Lawyer who did what?
Who wouldn't disclose to me the research figure for the insurance.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Well, I have contacted another lawyer, and I've signed the release since the 6th of November last year. And up to now, up to yesterday, they were telling me that they hadn't got a response from the insurance.
They haven't got a letter?
Yes.
From the insurance, a response from the insurance company?
Yes, sir.
And this is after how much time?
I signed the release from the 6th of November.
Now, remind us what this is about.
The release is for them now to send off a check.
A check?
Yes.
A check
it's compensation, right? So we come to a settlement. They sent a release. I signed the release. It was sent back to them. I signed it on November 6th. And up to now, we can't get a response from them. You don't think that is too long, sir?
Yes, it strikes me as very odd.
We're over 2 months.
But I wonder whether you should have signed the release and sent it back to them.
Well, that's what the lawyer told me.
Your lawyer told you that?
Yes.
Very odd. So what is the explanation that your lawyer offers now?
Well, just that they haven't gotten any response from the insurance yet.
Well, is he in contact with them, trying to get something out of them?
I should think so.
Otherwise, I'm sure he'll know what to do. Okay?
Yes. So, it's American Home Assurance Company, Mr. Perkins, and it's like the lawyer saying, look, you'd have to wait until they respond. But we can't hold until they feel like it.
No, you can't hold indefinitely like that.
No.
They must respond in reasonable time.
And I have a lot of difficulty which I won't go into.
Yes.
Right? I just need my money.
Yes.
And it's Miss Fia McFarlane is the spokesperson for American Home Assurance Company. And it doesn't seem like I'm going to get much of a help from the lawyer because she's saying that, well, we have to wait. Right? So I would appreciate if you could contact that lady and find out what is what.
Well, I don't know really that I can do that, sir. Hold on. Okay, thank you very much. Back here. Hello? We lost that person. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try another line. Hello?
Uncle.
Hi, how are you?
How is everything, my brother?
Not too bad, comrade.
Willie.
Yes, sir.
The people who go to church and sit down and listen to some of these people who call themselves preachers.
Yes.
Must take a serious look at some of these people who are preaching to them, Mr. Perkins.
Why you say that? You go to church?
Not really. No, I must say no, really. I must say no. When I listen
Why you don't go to church?
Because I am not convinced. And what prove it more to me, Mr. Perkins? When I listen to Reverend Roper this morning, and when I remember one day last week of some preacher in the paper of saying that he get a vision of the 5th term, some talk show host days are numbered.
Yes.
You know, Mr. Perkins. And furthermore, that some politician will resign after election. I say to myself, Mr. Perkins, why some of those preachers, but then don't take off them jacket and just jump on the bandwagon and done, Mr. Perkins? Why trying to hide on the pulpit preaching to us, Mr. Perkins?
Well, I don't know. Well, it's I tell you something. It's excellent political propaganda.
Mr. Perkins, I convinced that they believe that they are fooling us, the congregation they are preaching to. But do they believe that they are also fooling God, Mr. Perkins?
Well, I don't think God is to be fooled by them.
Because when I heard Reverend Roper saying that what have happened in Salvamar.
No, in Lucy.
In Lucy, sorry about that. Is worse than Trafidora?
You know, sir, I think that if, well, I don't know.
Mr. Perkins, I just want to close on that matter by saying that Mr. Golin has proved himself to be a true leader.
You think so?
And a leader in which the Jamaican people have been searching and looking for over the years. And if the PNP did have any leader of this caliber, this country would have been a better place today.
Boy, what a wonderful propagandist you are.
Mr. Perkins, I have good news for you.
What is that?
Comrade Dabdu finally reached.
Comrade Dabdu?
Finally reached at West Portland.
Are you serious?
Yes, he finally reached Saturday evening. And his first stop were in Oak Bay. But the sad thing about it takes him 2 months and more to reach after driving all over the place searching for Portland.
Oh, come on,
hold on, Mr. Perkins. What are the interesting things? The people in Portland is saying that they are now have 2 labor rights running. 1 labor right for the PNP, 1 labor right for the Jamaican Labour Party.
Oh?
Yes, because you know the people out there still is saying that Mr. Dabdo is a Labour man. They are not convinced that he's a full PNP.
I see.
You understand me? So they are still saying that Mr. Dabdo is a Labour man. But
so is this formally really been formally been?
It has no official. But
it's official.
Yeah, man.
That he's the candidate.
Yes, man. It will. I think if you listen 5 o'clock news this evening, because they are supposed to in Portland today. Signing off with you call the conference executive.
Yes.
So you will get it on the 5 o'clock news this evening.
Oh.
But as you know, the law is not a shackle.
True.
Because he is not officially a member of the PNP, you know.
So I gather I heard on a mention of this on some program recently.
Yeah.
And the point was being made that he has not been, he has not even applied to the party for membership.
As a matter of fact.
Are you sure that you're right on
Mr.
this?
Perkins, the bigger boys for the PNP in West Portland endorse him on Saturday night in Oak Bay at your good friend resident. We don't need to call name.
Yes.
But your friend Palace in Oak Bay Saturday night.
Yes.
He were
at the Palace in Oak Bay.
In Oak Bay. He were endorsed around the big table with the glasses of wine and champagne, you name it. And now he will be taken now to the lower floor, your upper house and the lower house.
Yes.
He will be taken now to the lower house today, in which he will represent to them. They won't be asking those people if they accept him, you know. He will represent to them now as the candidate officially.
Yes, but how can this be when he's not a member of the party?
Because the law is not a shackle. And one thing you must understand. If the PNP come out this evening through the information minister and say to us that he did apply a few months ago and accepted, you and I is not in the position to know if that is true or false. You get the point I'm making?
Well, yes, I suppose so, but...
You are not in... But remember,
But the latest I have heard, coming out of the mouth of... I can't remember who it was.
Yes.
Somebody from the PNP was that he had not
applied because remember he's still sitting in the house as an independent member of the house.
Yes.
And you can't sit in the house as an independent member and then be a candidate for the PNP.
Well, obviously from what you're saying you can.
Yes. So most likely you expect to hear something on the news this evening. But one thing I'm glad for Mr. Perkins is that he coming to West Portland would have seen PNP and GLP living as one.
Oh?
Yeah, no quarrel. Everybody, because that's one thing with Darry Vaz, he have met the people in West Portland living as one. You understand? And everybody accept themselves as one big family in West Portland. And that is the reason why, if you notice, Saturday evening on the 7 o'clock news in this district, which they call MKL, where he were, and the people were dancing from 2004, Mr. Perkins, the road have cut off. You know, Saturday news, Saturday evening.
Yes,
For 2004, Mr. Perkins, the road have cut off and the people have to take boat and go reach them out, and nothing has been done until today. Can you believe that, Mr. Perkins?
Well, it sounds a little strange. I mean, not really. This has been going on all over Jamaica for a long time.
You understand? Nothing has done about it, Mr. Perkins. You understand me? And Mr. I hope now that Mr. Dabdo come he can also add his voice to it so that the people in jail can able to get a road lead to them community.
Yes.
You understand? But he will be coming to see that Mr. Vaz have built a unity in West Portland where nobody is fighting or throwing store or quarreling with one. But I am prepared. The last time I bet you my wife, Mr. Perkins,
bet me your wife.
I am betting you my life now that Mr. Dabdo will get one of the biggest political beatings that this country has ever seen in its history of the two-party system, Mr. Perkins.
You're serious?
Mr. Perkins, Mr. Vaz were leading Mr. Ennis and Miss Faz by 3,000. I sure at the end of this will be leading Dabdo by 7,000. I must say, Mr. Dabdo, because it is a big laughing stock in West Portland, Mr. Perkins.
Is that so?
Yeah, man. But you yourself laugh at the idea because you can't come to it all know that he's the candidate for West Portland.
Well, I'm a West Portland man, you know.
I tell you something and you never know of it. You know last year that a lot of the seats, the people in those seats have demonstrated against the member of parliament because of poor performance.
Yes.
You know that?
I heard that.
Eh?
I heard that.
Do you know that Mr. Dabdo was the first member of parliament that his conscience demonstrated against? Last year?
Mr. Dabdo was what?
The first member of parliament that the people demonstrated against.
Where?
In St. Catherine.
Oh.
And at one stage they were told that he were abroad seeking medical assistance. He was the first member of parliament that his own people voted against because of poor performance. And when the PNP...
When you say the first member of parliament, what you mean?
I mean in the sense that you have about 7 members of parliament last year where people demonstrated.
Oh, I see.
And
he
were the first one out of the 7 that the people demonstrated against because of poor performance and not seeing him.
So they're now taking him and shoving him on the people of West Portland.
What is that telling you?
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Perkins. It just telling you, Mr. Perkins, these people can disrespectful to the people in who they ask to support them, you know. Because last year the PNP candidate in St. Catherine were saying that Mr. Dabdo is a poor performer. He has performed so poorly. And the CMP...
Well, now that he has joined the PNP, he may get a little sort of fillip and, you know, maybe you better watch and, you know...
Mr. Perkins,
he might not be as easy to beat as you think.
Mr. Perkins, I know you're laughing off of the whole idea, you know. But I want to ask you, you saw the bite of the ear and CVM last night with Mr. KD Knight? Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir, I have it.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes?
It's sad, man.
It is.
It's sad. You know, and it come back to what I said to you before, you know, say, the disrespectful to the Jamaican people.
I didn't realize that, I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing it. You know?
That it was the bite of the ear?
Well, no, that he had said that. I didn't realize that he had... Well, it wasn't so much as said as...
You understand?
I don't know. But it was, in my view, disgusting.
Mr. Perkins, when I saw that clipping last night, and the one with Miss Parchment, you saw that one too?
I don't particularly remember that one. What was that?
The one with she standing in a PNP conference and saying,
Oh, she treated people in St. Anne's?
Oh, yes, that thing. But I've heard that over and over.
That one play last night.
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, when you took...
You mean how whatever she got, she gave to Labour, right?
And she treat the PNP, and if she even give a PNP supporter something, is to get the vote. But after she get the vote, it's a different business. and I saw Miss Parchment in the cleaner and the PNP platform at the arena hugging up Sister Portia Simpson.
But that is the interesting thing about it, that somebody who says something like that has been accepted and hugged by the party.
And that's why I tell you again, Mr. Perkins, that the people that does not respect the electorate out there, anything that they...
But she was in the Labour Party.
Right. And the Labour Party said, no, we cannot keep and upset somebody like you who are going to separate the people and divide them. We want candidates to unite the people. And the Labour Party said, no, you are not welcome. And the PNP accept her, Mr. Perkins. Just like how they upset Mr. Dabdo, who the people demonstrated again and tried to turn him into another candidate for Mr. Perkins. It's just to show that they does not respect the electorate. We does not care about the people. You understand me? And Miss Parchment were on the platform hugging up Sister P. And she was saying that Sister P is her sister. Sister P were saying that Miss Parchment is her sister. So the big question is, I am asking Mrs. Simpson Miller, if when she says she loves the poor, if she really mean it. Because the people in centers in which Miss Parchment starve from benefit were poor people. And Miss Parchment come out and said it plainly. You get the point I'm making, Mr. Perkins?
I heard you, sir. I heard you.
So Miss Simpson Miller need to sit down and think if she really loves the poor. She's wearing a jacket like Reverend Roper, who preach but does not mean it.
How you know he doesn't mean it?
Then when Reverend Roper go on the platform with the Bible and preach, do you think he mean it, Mr. Perkins?
I don't know, sir. I have no means of it. Anyway, thank you very much.
Nice talking.
All the best to you. Okay, hello? Oh, Lord. Well. But, you know, that thing that Mr. K.D. Knight said, which was replayed on CVM last night, I had no idea that he had said that. You need, I don't know, those of you who didn't hear it missed something. But I can't play it for you on this program. I mean, that would be going down too low. Hello? No? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
How
are you, sir?
Not too bad. How are you?
I am good, Mr. Perkins.
You're good?
Yeah, man, I am good.
Oh,
I
yes?
listen to you quite some time
That
now,
means that you're,
I am good.
Your genetic connections are holding.
Man, I am good.
Eh?
Very good.
Oh, glad to hear that.
No, Mr. Perkins, no. No, I am not.
You're not good?
I am not even working at the moment. I'm unemployed at the moment.
You're unemployed? Oh, Lord.
But I'll tell you something. We have to careful. You understand? We have to be careful. I'm a Christian.
You're what?
I'm a Christian.
You're a Christian?
I'm a Christian, you understand?
Yes,
And I will let you know something. I am a Christian.
Yes.
I'm a child of God, yes, sure.
A child of God.
And I attend churches every Sunday and stuff, right? But I will tell you something. You must understand that Yes, man. The Lord, when Jesus was on earth,
yes,
when he walked this earth, he did not have a political motive. He did not have a political motive. He was healing the sick and made the blind see, and everything he was doing good, right? And I can recall in the Bible, a man who would collect taxes come to him and ask his disciples if his master doesn't pay taxes. And he said, cast his net over and catch a fish, and in that fish was coin, and he took it and paid taxes. Right?
He did what?
I said this to that. I'm just going to make it clear what I'm saying. There are many going to say, Lord, Lord, we cast out devils, and we do a lot of things in the name, and in return he will tell them, depart from me, I know you not.
Yes.
Because he doesn't deal with deception. As when the rain fall, when he fall the rain, it doesn't fall on one person or one all stop or anything. It falls on everybody else stop. You know what I'm saying? So God doesn't deal with division and segregation and stuff like that. For why he came in the world because of love and to save, call sinners to repentance, not for political motive. Because even the scribes and the Pharisees said he was this master speaking to publicans and all that. God didn't make business what type you are, what type people you were. He was calling for sinners to repentance. He doesn't really care where you're from or what race or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
You follow what I'm getting at?
I'm hearing you. Hello? Oh, Lord. Hello?
So I'm saying
a
lot will come and deceive a lot. People will come and deceive people. People will come and try to deceive people in the name of God.
Yes.
For their own motive.
I see.
So you have to just read your Bible and know the rights and just, know what to go right.
I see.
All right. Enjoy. Nice talking to you.
All right, so nice hearing from you. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. You're listening to the radio, sir. Don't waste time.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
No, I would like to speak to Mr. Perkins.
I am Perkins, sir. You're listening to the radio.
Yeah,
turn off the radio and listen to the phone.
Oh, good afternoon, sir.
Eh? Hello?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Yes, well, go ahead now.
Yeah, this is my first time calling.
Yes, would you speak up a bit for me?
No, sir, this is my first time calling.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah, I've been listening to you for the past for some years now. And I'm a little convinced to call this man regarding to this preacher man.
Regarding what?
This preacher gentleman.
The what gentleman?
The preacher.
The preacher?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
The one that is the one that's talking about the Hello?
What is the problem, sir?
I think something wrong with your phone or something.
Why?
Are you hearing me now?
I am hearing you, yes.
I want to talk about this gentleman that talk about the thing that happened down in West is worse than this traffic bureau stuff.
Yes, that's the Reverend
Roper. I think the gentleman have to be careful what he's saying because
he has to be
careful of what he's saying. Because Jamaica has 2 million, approximately 2.5 million people.
Yes.
Why would God come and speak to him only? And the rest of preachers then not hear anything from God pertaining to this election or what's going on with the Prime Minister and the Jamaican Labour Party. I mean, this gentleman has to be careful because if he don't be careful what he's doing, one day when he uses God's name in vain, he's going to drop dead.
You think so?
I think so.
I see.
Because I think he's lying through his lips. And a lot of the things that he's saying is not true. No, I think you're mixing up. The Reverend Roper. Same one.
Talked about Trafigura.
Yes.
And the handover thing being, well, the handover thing event being worse than Traffic Europe.
Right.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, I'm talking in most of his statement that he's making.
Hold on just a moment. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think you're mixing up Mr. Roper with somebody else who said some other things.
No, what I'm saying, if these preachers, if these gentlemen are so much a Christian, why don't they tell the Prime Minister, since the Prime Minister says she's a poor people Prime Minister, why don't they tell the Prime Minister that what she's doing is not helping the poor?
Well, maybe they don't understand that themselves.
Because I remember reading an article in the paper a few months ago about an advisor to the Prime Minister who is making $4.2 million a year. When I work for her salary, she's making somewhere over $2,000 an hour. And a lot of people in Jamaica are just making $2,500 a week.
$2,000. She's making what? $2,000 an hour?
Well, her salary at $2.2 million. Her salary at $2.2 million per year. If I work that out, I get about $2,100 and something dollars.
Oh, I haven't worked it out, so.
And then another $500,000 as traveling expense.
But that doesn't prove that she's against the poor, because that may be the value of work that will improve the lot of the poor. I mean, I'm not saying it is so, but that could be so.
In order for someone to get that amount of money per play, how they get the money? Does the money come from the tax?
Yes, but then it depends upon what service the person is performing, right? If you need $2,000
to the rich. In that case, I think you'll be taking from the poor and give it to the rich.
Yes, but if you need $2 million worth of performance from somebody, right, then you have to pay them a reasonable, paying them $2 million a year would be reasonable.
The thing I'm trying to get to is folks here that is making the minimum wages and they are paying, they're contributing to our wars.
Yes.
And
the fact that people are earning minimum wages doesn't mean that if you want somebody to perform highly technical services or whatever, right, which ultimately will benefit or should, it should be designed to benefit the poor and the people of the country generally, then you have to pay that person what he's worth.
At any cost, even if you have to cost the poor.
I never said anything about at any cost. What I'm saying is that you can't measure the value of somebody's services in that way, right?
All right, thanks.
Okay. Hello? Hello,
Mr. Perkins.
Yes, good morning. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I acknowledge you to be a learned man, right?
Is that so?
Hello?
I've never thought of myself in these terms.
You've never?
No.
Well, I am the one making that suggestion.
All right, well.
And I'm sure I'm quite entitled to do it.
I won't argue with you about it.
Well, let me pronounce this word for me. Jesus. How do you pronounce that?
Well, the ordinary English pronunciation is Jesus.
No, Mr. Perkins, J-E-S have two syllables, right? J-E-S is Jess, and U-S is us. So why is it that yourself and other callers pronounce the man name as Jesus and not Jesus?
Because...
You have to correct these things, Mr. Perkins, because I know you to be a man of proper English. And I hear even you yourself calling the man Jesus.
Yes.
So even if it was the name Jesus to save a lot of us, you would not be saved. Because you're not calling the man by his right name.
Jesus is the name, sir.
Huh?
Jesus is the name.
Jesus cannot be the name, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, it is.
How is it J-E-S-U-S pronounced as Jesus?
Look here, sir. The name begins as a sound, right? When you call a man John, right? John is a sound. It is not spelling, right? Now, the spelling is a way of putting into written form that sound, which is the man's name. Right?
Is this what education do to us, Mr. Perkins?
What?
Huh?
What?
Allow us to elaborate on issues that...
No. But very often, sir, there are a lot of words in the English language, and I suppose in others, that are pronounced in ways that are not consistent with what you might have expected from the spelling.
Last week I hear a caller saying that Haile Selassie dead, and you were there, and laughing and jeering, and we're saying then don't Jesus Christ himself dead too, or Jesus Christ? Didn't Jesus Christ die?
Yes.
So why when someone come and they're talking about Selassie dead as if Jesus Christ himself didn't die?
Well, I have no special remit in this in relation to these matters.
Yeah, but I remember asking you a couple, maybe a week or two ago, if you had read the biography or selected speeches of His Majesty.
Yes.
And the impression you gave me was that, no, you haven't.
I have not.
Right, but yet still you went on to say to the gentleman, when you were saying that the Almighty would not run in 1936 when Mussolini waged war on Ethiopia, you were there saying, but, making mockery like, why did he run if he was God?
Uh-huh.
Mr. Perkins, His Majesty Haile Selassie was head of state of Ethiopia in his time.
Yes.
Right? And we have to remember that as small as the man were in stature, he was large in outlook as all people had acknowledged him.
I follow you.
The United Nations was formed in 1945 in San Francisco.
Yes.
Am I right?
In San Francisco?
Yeah, in 1945 when 50 nations met in San Francisco to establish the United Nations, Ethiopia under the leadership of Emperor Haile Selassie I was the only head of state who had that unique privilege to address both the League of Nations and the United Nations. So why is it people come and making mockery of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie?
I'm not making mockery of him, sir. I certainly wouldn't want to do that.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Perkins.
I'm not making a mockery of him.
Yeah, but you were saying when Mussolini invaded Ethiopia in 1936, why did he run if he was the Almighty? We can't speak of the gentleman who has been acknowledged by even President Kennedy in his time as a world
Yes,
statue.
but if he were almighty, why would he have
Oh, we look at God, Mr. Perkins. We say a man of God is God in flesh, and a man of devil is devil in flesh. So if we give heed to the bad, we must give heed to the good. I'm sure oftentimes you must have in your time hear people saying when a man do something bad, them say, boy, that are the living devil. So why when the man do something bad, we can't say that's the living God? So we are saying as Rastafarian, we acknowledge Christ within this man. Because of the work that he has done in his time.
I follow you. Yes,
you understand, Mr. Perkins?
I don't have a problem with that.
You haven't got a problem with that?
Of course not.
But anyway, the word Jesus, let us now pronounce it as Jesus and not Jesus. And I dare any one of your caller to phone in and follow up on that, because Jesus cannot, in English language, pronounce as Jesus when it is Jesus. So if it is the name Jesus to save a lot of these Christians in Jamaica, none of them are dead, Mr. Perkins.
I see.
Because Jesus cannot pronounce as Jesus. Have a nice day, Mr. Perkins.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, hello. Hello.
Dr. Mutty.
Hi, my comrade, how are you? Boy, you always phone at this hour, at this time.
Yes, yes, I engage otherwise sometimes, you see? Yes. It is said that Mrs. Clinton will be a presidential candidate sometime in the next...
Well, I don't know if she will be.
Or she might be.
It's possible. I think that she has an intention of running, yes.
Well, we have been We have been taught to...
contesting for it, you know.
Huh? What's that?
No, I have my impression is that she intends to compete for the Democratic nomination.
Well, yes, that's a different thing, eh?
Yes.
Yes. We have come along to believe that, societies like America, leaders in those countries have enlightened thinking. Now, Mrs. Condoleezza Rice went to the Senate last week to promote Mr. Bush's new Iraqi war plan.
Yeah.
And another senator told her that, as a single woman and not being a mother, she would not be able to have the feelings, sympathize with the majority of women in America whose children are in Iraq fighting. And then at a press conference in Israel over the weekend, she was asked that very question again. I was told again that she shouldn't be the one to really promoting the plan because of not being able to understand the feeling of mothers whose children are dying in Iraq.
Yes.
Now, I would like to see Mrs. Clinton facing such question. She's a mother, but, women are supposed to be incapable of providing good leadership.
But I don't know that that Mrs. Clinton is directly related to the present policies of the United States government in relation.
No, but it's a similar thinking where you're not a mother, so you can't have certain feelings.
No. I don't know. I don't know what in relation to Ms. Condoleezza Rice, she's supporting the war in Iraq.
Yes.
And I think that what was said in relation to that,
Yes, but my argument is...
But, people say these things, I imagine that sort of... I don't think that that a woman has to be a mother to be aware of what the concerns of mothers in a case like this.
Yes, no, but it would not have been expected to hear from a senator. In America, putting forward that argument. Maybe back home we'd have expected to hear that. Rather than saying that Mrs. Clinton might face somebody saying
it was what, a Democratic senator who said it? Was it a Democratic senator who said it?
No, it was a Republican, no.
Look here.
Yes.
We're on the break.
Yes.
You're on the toll-free line, so you can hold on. Okay? You're listening. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Yes. Lastly, information emerged over the weekend showing or suggesting that
the what? What emerged over the weekend?
Information. Suggesting or showing that Saddam Hussein was lynched. We have noted that we haven't heard anything from the EU and other such powerful bodies who always, precious small states like ours in regards to our justice system and especially the death penalty. So, and then it brings me back to the Grenada trial of the people accused of killing Maurice Bishop. So I suppose that we need to get the backings of the Americans and then we'll be able to have our justice system seen as fair and in keeping with world standards. Yes. So, we talk again, eh?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Perkins. First-time caller, regular listener, though.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, good. I just want to clarify the pronunciation of the word Jesus. That caller seemed to want to make function. Now, in the English language,
if you want to maintain the pronunciation of the first three letters in the word, in this case, J-E-S, if you want to maintain the pronunciation of Jess, you'd have to double the consonant before the next vowel. Because what the next vowel does in a word like that is lengthen the pronunciation of the preceding vowel. For example, pet, P-E-T, pet. If you want to maintain that sound, when you add E-R at the end of it, you'd have to double the consonants P-E-T-T, then you add E-R in order to get petter. But if you just add E-R to P-E-T, you'd get Peter. So what the second vowel does is lengthen the pronunciation of the first vowel.
No,
from a short sound to a long sound.
Hold on a little bit now. I'm not following you at all, because where is the second vowel?
All right. In Jesus, the second vowel is U.
Yes.
Now, what the U does is lengthen the pronunciation of the first vowel. So instead of a short E sound, you get a long E sound. So it would change from Jess to G.
No, I think that if you wanted to spell Jesus, then it would be, what you would do is double
the consonant.
Hold on. What you would do is double the succeeding consonant.
Yeah, S.
J-E-S-S-U-S.
Right. That is what I'm saying.
Would be Jesus.
Right. So if you want, in other words, pet becomes petter when you double the T.
Yes.
But if you only add one T, it would be Peter.
Yes.
And so it is with all English words.
It tends to be like that, yes.
Yeah. So the man who is saying that J-E-S-U-S is Jesus, no, he is wrong. J-E-S-S-U-S is Jesus.
Well, I'll tell you something, sir. It is not a matter so much of how the word is spelled as how it is pronounced.
Right.
Right?
Right.
The name is Jesus.
Yes, it is.
Right? Now, if you want, language is verbal, is oral.
Yeah.
Before it is anything else.
Yeah.
Right? So the name is a sound.
Very true.
Primarily. And then we want to write it down, so we spell it.
Yeah.
Right? We put a spelling to it.
Yeah.
And however it is spelled will not. Let me not go too far there. But there are a lot of words in English that are spelled one way and pronounced another.
True.
You know.
Yeah, but the general rule of pronunciation in the English language is like file becomes F-I-L. And you add an E-R to it, filer, but if you want to spell filler, you'd have to double the L,
yes.
F-I-L-L, and then add the E-R. That's
when you double the consonant like that, you shorten the vowel.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
But a single consonant in the middle of two vowels lengthens the pronunciation of the preceding vowel.
But it seems to me that this is a rather sort of arbitrary doctrine that certain religious bodies in this country have taken on to themselves, you know.
One in particular.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you for the time, Mr. Perkins.
Okay, you're welcome.
And keep up the good work.
Okay, good, thanks. Okay, hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
Two things.
Yes.
I don't want to have anything with a God that going to damn me to hell.
Will you talk a little louder for me?
I don't want to have anything with a God that is going to send me to hell because I mispronounced his name.
Well, who said that there was any such God?
Well, the gentleman actually said that if he pronounces his name incorrectly, then are you going to call on the name of Jesus or Jesus? Now, to mispronounce his name, going to damn you to hell. Then the entire.
Well, I don't think he said that.
Who don't pronounce the first J, gone. then you wipe out all the Jews, because they say Yahweh. And this whole interest in pronouncing the right name and pronouncing it. What about people who cannot speak? What's going to happen to them? That's not the important thing. The thing is, when you call on the name of Jesus, you know who you're calling. That is a fundamental thing under which, on the premise under which God operates, or Jesus operates, or Jesus operates.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. We take a break. We come back shortly. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon, sir.
That Fiesta Hotel thing down in Hanover. I heard the minister saying that the money that is derived from building fees is supposed to be used to put in additional staff and computers. But what's the sense of putting in computers and at the same time you have roads in the division represented by the councillors, people unable to come out? Like that situation I was telling you about yesterday. I believe the job of a councillor is to improve the lot of the people in terms of providing certain facilities in the divisions that they represent.
Yes.
Because what's the sense of stocking up computers in all these places, and in terms of service that we get, we don't see any great improvement. Because with all these computers and the millions of dollars that are here being spent under this government on IT, I don't see any form of development taking place out here. All I hear the country going further and further into debt.
Yes, well.
And then I hear them talking about conflict of interest. But I hear Mr. Dwight Nelson asked the minister a very important question this morning. How often they carry out audit of the parish council? He said every year. But Mr. Nelson said, but no election coming up. We hear about all kind of things that are taking place in parish council, but before we never hear what the audit said.
I'm not sure that it is the election coming up. It's the traffic guru that has gone.
They're looking at the counter for traffic guru.
Yeah, they're looking at counter for traffic guru.
Yeah, man, but they won't find any counter for traffic guru.
The minister has been searching among the parish councils for quite some time.
But it is interesting that we usually hear about all kind of things involving parish council prior to the GLP controlling the majority of the parish council. But it wasn't spelled out in details. You only get a few isolated
that is obviously
cases.
what it's related to. I said that is what it is related to, which does not excuse any wrongdoing in the parish councils, but
I am not excluding any wrongdoing, but one thing I am glad for is that Mr. Golden asked that mayor to resign. Because we have had many questions as to what took place where certain ministers are concerned under this government. We hear about youthful exuberance in terms of IT, whereby $170 million went down the drain with that man named Pereira from Trinidad.
Yes.
And then we hear a censure motion against the same minister. Then we have the traffic guru and the minister resign, but him still in the Senate.
Yes.
And now we hear them talking about the man should resign as councillor.
Well,
the man should have just resign too.
Okay. Look, I have to run. We're running out of time, eh?
All right. Okay.
I gather that there's been some heavy gunfire in the Mountain View area this morning. Or since last night it's been going on. But I believe that the information we have is that it's at an end now. It's at least temporarily so. The police have been in there, and yes, police and the army. But we should hear some more about that later on this afternoon. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. How are you?
I am hanging in there.
Good.
Yeah, I was listening to your program this morning.
Yes.
This caller from Marthabury, I think, was just talking about the collection of garbage and all.
Yes.
Right.
And water and
Right. No, this is where I think Bishop Tears. They call him Nadi, you know?
What's
and
that?
I call him Nadi, and I call Bishop Douglas Taddy. Taddy and Taddy, the two fools of the country. I think that's where they should concentrate on to clean the place.
Yes.
I mean, they are in charge of a ministry that cannot even collect garbage.
Well, they're not the ones responsible for that.
No, but they are the ministers, or they are the people who are in charge. They give directives.
Oh, yes, it's their, I beg your pardon. NSWMA is their ministry.
Yes. You remember Mr. Pierce was coming on somewhere on 6 Mile there and saw the smoke, and then he called his friend who was the expert on the smoke, who is Mr. Stewart, and asked him what he should do about the river density.
Yes.
So this is where Mr. Pierce needs to exercise energy. Because the country stinks. They can't even collect garbage. So he's all over the place trying to dig up scandal just to...
Well, there's an urgent need for a few scandals, you know, so because there have been a plethora of them on the other side, so they need something to counter.
He has to find at least 13, because we have about 13 successive scandals on the PNG.
Well, is that so?
Yes, you need to go through them, which you do all the time.
Well, what they need is to be in a position to say that, yes, all right, we are corrupt, but our opponents are equally so.
No, but you see the difference, Mr. Perkins. Yes, there was some conflict of interest with what Mr. Cooks went on with. Mr. Golding had a meeting with him, and surely he had convinced him to resign because he realized there's something not proper, right?
Yes, but hold on. I would like to get some more information about this.
Yes, naturally, but let's deal with it as what we are hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes.
Right. So I'm just trying to show the people the difference of the parties. When Mr. Paulwell went on with his occupant, he was promoted.
Mm-hmm.
He got a super ministry, remember?
Well, was there any question of a conflict of interest?
Well, not necessarily conflict of interest, but Mr. Paulwell has cost this country so much because of incompetence and the way he handles.
Mark, if we're going to talk about a conflict of interest, you know, there's a potential for a conflict of personal interest, right? And also another one for a conflict of partisan interest, right?
Okay.
When, for example, Omar Davis told you that he run with it, and if it hadn't been an election year, he wouldn't have done it, right? There's clearly a conflict there of he has a duty to the public and taxpayers of the country, but he also had an interest in the victory of his party. Right? So when they talk about conflict of interest, and again, what I would like to know, Mr. The mayor's company, right? Did it have an arrangement? Was its contract with the owners of the hotel property, or was it with the building contractors who had the job to build the hotel, right? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. Now, as far as I'm aware, the building contractors were in no direct dealing with the parish council.
No.
So if his contract was with the building contractors, then, there was less of an obvious personal interest. Would have been,
Yes,
Right,
for Mr.
but
Perkins.
I haven't heard the matter discussed.
No, and I've
been able to get in
always
touch
heard you talking about the other Spanish hotels, the concession they might have gotten.
Yes.
Right. So I'm certain that what happens in Lucy surely has happened at Baha'i Principle, at Rayo, at all of those.
Well, my understanding is that the St. Anne Parish Council is denying that.
They deny that?
So I don't know.
All right, sir. Yeah, but their new title is Nadia and Taddy, the two fools of the country. You want to Bim and Bam?
Yes.
But it's not Bim and Bam, it's Nadia and Taddy.
I see what you mean.
That's Mr. Peter and Mr. Douglas. Two
I see.
fools
All
of
right.
the country.
Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Good. I am the regular caller from the U.S.
Yes.
I just want you to know that little boy with the eye problem. I have secured an appointment here in the U.S. and the government is willing to give him a free surgery.
Is that so?
Yes.
So you've arranged that for him?
I beg your pardon?
You've arranged that for him?
Yes, I have arranged it. I have to get an appointment for him and get the mother to go to the embassy to get a visa.
Very good.
So I really would like you to know that I stretch out my hands to help him, and I'm going to be coming down in another couple of weeks and to see if I can obtain a visa for her and for them.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you did
You
this.
have a very nice day, and thank you very much for your program.
Well, thank you for what you've done for that little boy.
Well, I know that I will get it back from God one day.
Well,
in one way or the other.
yes, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right.
For your program, I've done a lot for a lot of people.
Well,
Like that kid.
thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you.
Now, listen, I'm just calling to congratulate Bruce Golding and the decisive and swift way that he has moved to deal with the situation in Lucy concerning the mayor.
Yes.
I think he's showing the type of leadership that this country has been lacking for close to 18 years. And, this morning I woke up feeling very encouraged. I'm looking forward to a difference with leadership, because I'm expecting that he will be the next Prime Minister of this country.
You're expecting that?
Yes, I'm expecting that. As a matter of fact, I feel fairly confident that he will be the next Prime Minister.
You don't think that Sister P will make it to the 5th term?
No, man. Sister P is a beautiful lady, and I love her, but she can't handle this particular job.
Oh?
But I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged because this is the sort of leadership that I expect. Okay? And I'm pretty sure that he will be the next Prime Minister.
I see.
So things are looking good. There's still hope in Jamaica.
There's still hope?
Yes, sir.
Well, we can't afford as a people to give up hope, you see?
No. But it's not just a question of giving up hope. There are times when things look desperately hopeless.
Yes.
In this particular case, based on the signs that Bruce Golden is showing,
yes,
there's plenty of hope.
I see.
And as I said before, I'm confident that the Labour Party will win the next election.
All right, sir.
I'm looking to great things happening this year.
Yes, and I'm not going to something come.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, sir.
Okay. Hello? Okay. We're out of time. Okay, that brings us to the end of Perkins Online for today. We'll be back hopefully tomorrow, usual time, usual place. We look forward to your company. So long.